Hoka, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of November the 11th, 2021. How would Alita do in a race against the Flash, Quicksilver, and Superman? Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado in the United States. And my co-host Angelus has not arrived yet. So anyway, but we'll get going. And we, first of all, we're going to, before we actually do this kind of a, I guess you could call it a simulation of a race between Alita, the Flash, Quicksilver, and Superman, we just want to briefly cover, the four principles here in the race itself. And as you can see there, that globe is kind of an insinuation here that we are going to be seeing how fast they can run around the planet. Because we're talking about speeds that are not like what you saw in the movie with Alita Battle Angel, where she was running over 100 miles an hour. That speed is just really puny compared to relativistic speed. Well, first of all, the principle here that's near and dear to our heart. You know, the kind of the I guess the subject of all the Alita Army's affection would be Alita. She is a total replacement cyborg. Now, I think a lot of folks just know Alita as the cyborg from the movie where she was in the doll body, she was in the berserker body, and she was in the motorball body. In that berserker body and motorball body, she can go speeds over 100 miles an hour. But we're not going to be talking about that body. We're going to be talking about her Imaginos bodies, which is the body that starts out in the last order. Now, in some cases, I've heard people say that, you know, her relativistic speed or being able to run that is near the speed of light is not canon. And we can debate that. You know, I happen to think since that is her body, and when Yukita Koshiro actually wrote some of those stories at the end of each volume of the manga, I think that did display or that did demonstrate the capability of those bodies. So anyway, we're going to be basing this on the manga, on the last order itself. Now, just a couple of things, and we've talked about this in prior streams, but Alita is actually someone, you know, that she's, well, she is a cyborg. She's superhuman. Before I get into this any further, I want to welcome Den. How's it going, Den?
Hey, how's it going? How you been?
Oh, pretty good. You haven't missed much, man.
Yeah, I'm early today. Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's cool. I
color
thought you
people
said
time early.
Yeah, I thought you said you were going to be late.
Yeah, I thought it was too, but I'm here.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Where's
anyway,
David?
he's late. He's late most of the time. So
Really?
he'll get here eventually. You know, it's we're not really all that organized here, so it's no big deal.
All right. Well, I heard some of what you're saying. Keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, and just chime in anytime, Dan. You can interrupt me in mid sentence. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I was just telling him a little bit about the Imaginos body in the last order. You know, where, and I think on one of your streams, actually on a couple of your streams, I think we even talked about you know, how Alita can run near the speed of light. And I think that was in a couple of those shorts, you know, at the end of one of the volumes of the last order. I don't remember because that's been a while since I've read it. Let me welcome Angelus here. How's it going, Angelus?
The black man made it before David. I cannot believe it. That means you die first in the next movie, David.
Oh, he must be having trouble with his mic, I think.
Oh, fuck. It was muted.
Yes, he was having trouble with his mic.
All them fucking pineapples in your stomach must be making you slow.
Yeah, he was having trouble with that button on his mic. So anyway, welcome aboard, Angelus. How's it going?
It's pretty good this morning.
Cool. So anyway, we were just talking about Alita's Imaginos body, because we're not going to even touch the berserker body, the tuned body. We're not going to talk about the doll body or the motorball body, because none of those bodies can run at relativistic speed. None of them.
Actually, you said to interrupt you.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I want to say this. How about we, I mean, because, listen, how much time can we talk about just that one subject? I think we can kind of add to it. And we will get time to talk about the Berserker and the Motorball body, because I was supposed to be doing a video last year with Foxfire, doing a death battle with Alita and Master Chief, because that would ride the coattails of the new Halo game coming out, because Halo, as if people don't know, they have been dying for their Halo. I'm also a Halo fan. It's one of the few fictional things I'm a fan of. So, we've been dying for our sequel for the last 6 years, like 2015, I think it was.
Yeah.
When the last Halo game came out. So, new Halo games coming out. I thought Alita could ride the coattails of that and do a death battle there. But the game got pushed back and we never got around to it. So I think that maybe we can do that here as well. I think
well, we can definitely talk about a lot of different topics. This will be our prime topic, but definitely we can talk about other topics, Dan. There's no, you know, we're not. This isn't like Radio Chaos, we're not that organized.
No, I got you. Yeah, I mean, Master Chief runs very, very fast, like cheetah fast, and I thought that
Yeah.
maybe the Motorball and Berserker would be more his speed.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that that would be a nice little side tangent, I guess.
Okay, yeah,
whenever
we can. Okay, then we can talk about that. I would say though, if Master Chief was to fight Alita and she was in one of her Imaginos bodies, that wouldn't be
Not
much
fair.
of a fight.
That's like
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z level.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, not Master Chief level.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, okay, Dan, we'll chime in when you want to. To talk about that too, because we can cover that. But just a little bit about Alita, and we've talked about this. Angelus and I have talked about this in prior streams. How she's really a superhuman. We even debated whether she was a metahuman or not, and that was kind of one of those depends on your perspective or your take or something like that. But based on her abilities, she is a metahuman or a superhuman, and of course, those three traits, as it relates to her speed, is going to be durability, reflexes, and stamina. Because to run this fast, to be able to run at relativistic speeds, you're going to have not just stamina to do it and durability, but your reflexes, because things are going to be coming at you very fast.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to react, in case you'll run through a building or something like this, And as I was saying, the Imaginos body is something I can't remember at the end of which one of those Last Order volumes. Dan, you might remember. It came up in where she did run. She was, I think, she was in a spaceship, wasn't she, or in a wrecked spaceship, and she was running inside it, and yeah, and everything behind her, the colors that where she was running away from it was red shifted, and everything in front of her was blue shifted, the color was, which the only way you can have that is to be running at speeds approaching light, because even 10% the speed of light is probably not going to give you much of a blue shift or red shift, maybe a little bit, it probably will give you a little bit, but it's going to almost be like a tint, it's not going to be so much, more than likely. Of course, no human's ever gone that fast, so we don't know for sure.
Well, here's the thing. So first of all, what we could do is here when we share screens here on channels and stuff like that on live streams, we worry about copyright infringement and stuff. That stuff will get your channel taken down. But usually when you show a video from other YouTubers, especially YouTubers who also took the video from somewhere else, it's usually okay. So what we could do is we could bring up a video. Maybe one of us behind the scenes can find a video that shows what the relativistic effects look like.
Sure.
And by the way, these videos did not exist back then when Yukito wrote this. So of course the man does his research,
Yeah.
But to add to what you were saying a second ago, when it comes to, from what I know, because I'm not a physicist, okay, I'm literally just a dude who spends too much time on the internet. I don't know if you hear my dog. He's like, you ever seen Jurassic Park where the raptors are trying to break through the door? That's what he's doing right now.
That's what your dog's doing.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that, so sorry if you can. But he's trying to get out to the other dog. But anyway, back to what I was saying. When it comes to like relativistic speeds and stuff like that, from what I know, the speed of light works on a logarithmic scale, meaning that it doesn't just go straight up. Yes. And what happens when it comes to these effects, when it comes to the blue shift and the red shift and all that, a lot of that crazy stuff doesn't start happening until you're like well into the speed of light. Yeah. And so the debate that we had on my channel last year, I don't know if it was a year ago now, but it was a while ago. Yeah. Maybe 10 months ago. Yeah. Was people were saying that no, that's more for the speed of sound. No. And no, the speed of sound, what is the speed of sound? Like, I think it's like 600, 700 miles an hour, like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
670 miles an hour.
Something like that. Depends on the medium. You like water, it's different. Air is different. And of course, vacuum sound doesn't travel at all, so it's zero. So anyway,
it's 700 miles. It's 767 miles per hour, right? That is
something like
not
that.
Even a percent of a percent of a percent of the speed of light. Not even close. To see those relativistic speeds, you would need to be traveling like I can't explain to you as a non-physicist, to you as a person who's never experienced this stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's no words to put this into how fast you'd be needing to go to see blue shift in front of you and red shift behind you. But it's well over 50% the speed of light. I was saying that maybe like 80% the speed of light, right? Because at 80% the speed of light, I think is when time starts to slow by 50%.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
logarithmic. The
Yeah, that's
faster
right.
you go, the more effects you get. And so I think it's about 80% is where you get 50%.
Well, when you're running that fast,
running of all things.
assuming
That's
you can
crazy.
run that fast, but when you're running that fast, your perception, within you doesn't really change. I mean, nothing to you changes. To people on the outside, that's watching you, it's of course you're going really, really, really fast. But
Yeah.
to you, when you look at them, they're like almost like statues, you know. So
Yeah.
when you're running and you see you're running toward a building, your perception is going to be the same, and you can get out of the way, because to everybody else, you're going really fast, but to you, it's almost like it's the same. Even though you're going real fast, your perception doesn't really change. Now we can debate that a little bit because the neurons in your brain and all that. I don't know what have an effect on that, but it's more than
Well,
likely it won't have that big of effect normally. By the way, Dan, Ash Blackwind says, well, who's going to win, Superman or Goku? Well, that's a subject for another stream, I think, and that's something we can put together.
but
I
the
think.
answer is Goku.
Well, I would say it depends on what version of Goku and what version of Superman. So it's kind of like Alita. There's several versions of her.
Well, luckily, the writer of Dragon Ball is a pretty simple guy, and there's really only really one version of Goku with slight variation. So unlike Superman, who cheats and has to make up a new version of himself every week because the last version wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So, there's like 100 Supermans.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd put that up there, Dan. I figured I'd get your hackles up just a little bit.
Well, it's okay. I love that debate, and I'll have it any time.
We'll have that on this stream. We'll have that because I love that debate. Anyway, but by the way, too, for Dan and Angelus here, I do have 3 simulations already worked out. We're going to see a bit visuals on the screen of it. Now, they're pretty simple, but it kind of does typify what you might expect to see. I'm not a physicist either, although when I was in college I did major in physics for like 2 semesters. No, actually it was like 2.5 years. Holy moly!
Oh,
so
wow.
anyway, but I never got
nerd
into
over
that.
here.
Yeah, but I never got into that kind of stuff with that one. But anyway,
3 trunks for arms.
say again, Angelus.
I said a nerd with 3 trunks for arms.
Like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like the inversion of Neil deGrasse Tyson. White instead of black. Nerd in college. Neil deGrasse Tyson was a jacked dude in college. Now, you know what I mean? Now that they're old, they've switched roles. The other's gone from the nerd to jacked, and the other went from jacked to nerd.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm jacked now, Dan, but I'm big. but I'm not jacked, I don't think,
I'm big. Yeah, no, I'm big. But
Yeah, you're big too. I've seen pictures of you. Absolutely.
People keep saying that, man, but I don't know. Someone said that at jiu-jitsu yesterday, and after choking me out, and I'm like, dude, does it matter if I got choked out?
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we're going to be going over a lot of stuff, and once again, this is a the 3 of us, Dan or Angelus or I, are not physicists, so don't it's kind of like David Watson says there, hey guys, you guys are way off on this. Well, it could be. Alita does go Mach 25, which is hypersonic, but we're talking about, David, we're talking about in her Imaginos body, not any other body but that one. And that's according to the manga, and Dan, maybe you can remember what story that was at the end of what chapter, but she was definitely going relativistic speed.
I can't hear anyone, by the way.
You can't hear us? Hello, Dan, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Hey, Dan, Alita is better than 18 as a waifu.
Uh-oh, we lost Dan. So anyway, he just have to...
I guess Alita kicked him off.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, we lost you for a second there, Ben.
I don't know what happened, but I will say this. To David Watson, I mean, how can you really say what universe Alita's based in? I mean, all we have, and this is the
Yeah.
problem I was having last time we had this debate, because a lot of people wanted to impugn, I guess, motive on the author. You know what I mean? Without the author having said anything. I mean, Alita is a pretty fantastical universe in itself. You know, it does get a lot more sciencey, but you know, I mean, you could easily say that different variations of the DC universe and the Marvel universe do as well. I mean, you have Iron Man, who's basically based science, you know, his Marvel science or whatever, and then also combines magic with Thor. You know, and then you have Alita, you know, things that look like magic and things like that, things that could not exist in our universe. I mean, they have things like gray goo events and stuff like that. You know, it's still a different universe. You know what I mean? I mean, Alita respawned her entire existence in a cat body. You know, I wouldn't say it's that based in real life physics. I mean, the author, in my opinion, put a clear indicator of what was happening. Like I said, who knows if it was at completely the speed of light? Because I mean, at the complete speed of light, things get really wonky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do.
And all he did was put in red shift and blue shift. You know, and like I said, you have to be going a significant amount of the speed of light in order to see something like that. That's all
we debated that, and it was fun too, by the way. So anyway, David, I guess, you know, just bear with us, man, because, you know, I mean, that was in the manga, and we're going to have fun with this, because even in the DC universe, you know, the Flash running at greater than the speed of light, that in reality is impossible. You can't.
And that wouldn't rewind time for the rest of the world. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. If you even could. Yeah.
You can't rewind time. However, if somehow it did, it would only be for you. You know what I mean? Why would it affect Superman up the street? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like I said, this is just—it's all fantasy. It's all comic books, and that's what makes the fun of debating it. Is taking what the author said and comparing it to what another author said. Where things get weird is when, you know, people say that, you know, like, I don't know, when people like to say things like, "Oh, he only meant the speed of sound," but he said this. You see what I'm saying? He said X. He did not say Y, so you can't say he meant Y, even though he said X. That's where that last debate got kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, as I was saying a while ago, Alita's been in many different bodies. Obviously, you know, one that's not even there is the civilian body. Unless, I think, isn't that one the hat that she has with the hat on? That's the Toon body, I think, isn't it?
No, that's the civilian one.
That's the civilian. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but then the Toon body is not in that picture either. But she's been in a lot of different bodies. There's no doubt about it. So, and that Berserker body in the middle, it has a lot of capability, but it does not have the capability of going at relativistic speeds. Now, you know, Alita can run fast even in the Berserker body. I was able to calculate based on some estimates, you know, that we can argue assumptions and all that, but I estimated or calculated based on some, hopefully some half decent estimates, that she could run 125 miles an hour, you know, and that seemed to bear out in the motorball game, you know, where they were going over 100 miles an hour in that game. So, you know, wasn't a game, actually. They were trying to kill her, but you know, I mean, she can move pretty fast in that Berserker body itself, and even in the Toon body, she can move pretty fast, and she's pretty strong. But those speeds, like Den was saying a while ago, those speeds are just puny when you compare them to the speed, any significant percentage of the speed of light. I mean, even 1% of the speed of light is just crazy fast, you know.
Let's not forget that considering he's a character that Alita's racing against, in the second or third Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, I believe Superman literally went into space and flew like the reverse spin.
Well, that was actually that was the first movie.
Time.
Yeah, that was actually the first movie.
First movie even.
Yeah. Where they had the earthquake, and Lois Lane was killed in the earthquake, and it made him mad, and he flew up. He was screaming as he went up, and he went around the earth so fast it reversed the spin of the earth. Now, you know what? ain't happening either. Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
not
but it's
gonna
just
happen.
fun, you know.
But it's fun. Yeah, exactly. So absolutely. I mean, I love that scene. When he flew up in the air mad like that, yelling. I thought, oh my God. I mean, I wouldn't want to have to face Superman if he was a real person in
Yeah.
any circumstance. But on that one right there, I definitely would not want to even be on the same planet as that man. So. But anyway. But when we talk about those Imaginos bodies right there, each one of those can move pretty fast. I mean, the Imaginos 1.0, I think that's the body that Kashiro actually had at the end of that one. At the end of that one volume in the Last Order. And I think then that's the one we were talking about, her moving near the speed of light. Now, the Creek is making an assumption that the Imaginos 2 and the Imaginos 2.1 can move even faster than the Imaginos 1 body, but who knows,
Yeah, actually, in Last Order, they never really get into it. And
Yeah.
Here's the thing: I see Last Order because this is another argument: is that that scene where she was moving near the speed of light is not canon anymore.
Yeah.
However, it's just like, to me, it's just like Dragon Ball, right? When it comes to the anime, there's different canons, right? There's when they made the sequel Dragon Ball GT, and then they decided to make a different sequel that ignores that one. There's different canons, right? There's different branches of it, and since it's not real life, you can choose. I mean, Superman, people do it all the time. You can choose which version that. So I think that canon to the original ending, yes, she does run near the speed of light. Canon to Last Order, it's not really known, but it's pretty fast. As you saw her flying, what was it? She flew to Mars, or was it Venus at the end of Last Order? So.
Well, she went to Jupiter, but that was through a wormhole. Before we get much further, let me welcome Maxie on. How's it going, Max?
Oh God, I'm trying to wake up.
Damn, is it really like that in Australia? Y'all just drink all the time, huh? It's just like y'all don't even have water. Y'all just have beer fountains. Water
that's
fountains
right.
is cool.
I've been having renovations done to the house, so like the tradies are here at 7:30 in the morning, and they just no fucking rest. I was just like,
oh wow.
Well, glad to have you here, though.
But it's Saturday, thank Christ.
Saturday for you, in the future. That is Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
It is.
So.
It's because the Australians went the speed of light, so they end up in the future.
We tapped Superman on the heel, and he spun around. He was going really fast and moved it forward for us.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Maxie always gets on me a few times about how I'm the only American on the stream, and there's a bunch of Aussies on every time. Well, now I got Den on here to help protect me.
Well, when Den's not here and you drag Dizzy on, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
How you doing, Den?
Pretty good. Got this crazy dog trying to break through the door like a velociraptor right in front of me, but other than that, pretty good.
Well, if your dog's going to be a velociraptor, you need a few more.
No, seriously.
Because they only hunt in packs.
No, that's why he's going crazy right now, because he's not with his pack, He's over here biting me now instead of trying to break down the door to the other dog.
Well, anyway, Ash Blackwind's point there is, flying around the Earth backwards and making it spin backwards and turning back time. It was stupid. And you know what, Ash? It kind of bothered me a little bit too, but hey, it was fun.
I don't think he was actually making the Earth spin backwards. He was reversing time for himself, so he could go back in time and then be two places at once and solve the problem of having to decide between.
Well, in that first Superman movie, though, the Earth did go backwards. It was spinning backwards.
It looked spinning backwards to the viewer because the viewer was with him.
All right.
It's a point of view position, but that's how I took it. That the Earth was spinning backwards for him because he was going so fast. But how you could actually go back in time? I mean, you could go forward in time easily enough.
Yeah.
By changing the way
now,
time
guys.
works. Yeah, exactly. We're all time travelers, moving at 1 second per second through time. Woo!
Yeah. Pretty fast if you ask me.
Feeling my hair, back in the wind from going 1 second per second.
Yeah, an infinitesimal period of time. We're moving forward all the time. So yeah, that's right. So, but anyway, there's the three bodies, and we're going to really be looking at the Imaginos 1 and the Imaginos 2.1. That's, and yeah, y'all can
So the
argue
Imagine,
y'all can argue with me whether Creaky is right, about the speed and all that. We can have that just for fun, no problem.
you asked a question of Den or Angelus, and I was listening at that point, so I could actually answer the question. So it's not a physics question; it's just a where it was in the manga question.
Yeah.
So the Imaginos 1 only exists within the retconned original ending for the original series, which he then made non-canon. So that actual red shift blue shift moment, it might have been a idea he came up with during like heavy sedation or something, or if he was on big painkillers or having a fever or something, and that's when he came up with it, I think, because it's a little bit hard to swallow.
Well,
But why is that more hard to swallow than a space flower?
Yeah. Or why is that harder to swallow than the Flash running faster than the speed of light?
And reversing time for everyone.
Reversing time. The reversing time is hard to swallow, but also her being able to move that quick and have those thoughts in a short corridor. Angelus and I have just
without exploding everything around her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I get that, but it's still.
But Angelus and I did a little bit of a calculation, and basically, in 0.00001 of a second, if she was moving fast enough to see redshift, blue shift, she would have shot off the side of the Earth and been out around the orbit of the moon.
I think it just would have been a nuke and annihilated everything.
There would
have happened.
Yes, the friction of traveling that fast is enough to, ignite the atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it would have been. But at the same time, we got a space flower in the same chapter, so I'm not really nitpicking it that much. I'm just going off what the author said.
The space flower I can put down to some sort of like massive nanite effect, and that whole Grey Goo thing that you said is like physics from another universe. No, that you could actually. Grey Goo was theorized that it could happen. Yeah.
I know theoretical physics, but at the same time, it's still out there. There's a lot of things that are theoretical physics, like white holes, that are still really out there. You know what I mean? Because that entails reversing time, which we haven't seen yet. I guess maybe some people have in quantum world. I don't fucking know about that shit, but so I'm not gonna say we haven't, but I'm just saying, it's still out there. But this is also the same book where Figure 4 took punches to the face from pretty much a robot. You know what I mean? Alita's entire body's mechanical, and he was fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
the power of love.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, exactly. Power of love. People get punched in the face in the boxing ring by humans, and they die. Pritchard Cologne's still a vegetable. Yet Figure 4 took punches from.
Yeah, but then Figure 4 wasn't fine. He had a broken nose, and he had been stomped in the mud. So I don't know how fine he was.
Well, he woke up and it was gone. It was all.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just all I'm saying is that I get there's some really wacky shit in there, but all I can say is that we can only go off of what the author says because I don't know if you guys know about the power scaling community. It's like a real fucking thing that happened on the internet some time ago, and it mostly started with Dragon Ball, and it's people who take like specific feats and author statements and they try to scale based on that. Like there's a guy named Seth the Programmer who started with Dragon Ball, but also does like everything like Naruto and Godzilla and all that shit. And he'll take something like he'll be like, oh, and he actually has a stereotypical nerd voice too. It's very funny, but he knows his shit though. And he'll be like, oh, Piccolo shot the moon, and the beam got there in 0.1 seconds, so that means that the beam was traveling at this speed. And to destroy the moon, you need 2,000 joules of energy, which means that within 0.4 seconds, he was able to generate this much force, which means that in the Navic he was this much stronger. Like, he does all that shit, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, he still, like, leaves room, getting that nerdy about it, he still leaves room for, like, creativity and shit like that, you know what I mean? So he'll say, okay, this makes sense in this universe, but in this universe, the speed of light might be different because there's no way that you can cross the universe in 3 seconds and still be slower than the speed of light. So that only means that the speed of light is just different in this universe. You know what I mean? So he still leaves room for creativity for the
or
authors.
the physics of matter to be able to travel faster than the speed of light is different.
Yeah, the physics just
exactly.
might be different. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
as nerdy and detailed as he gets, he still leaves room, and I think that's the only way to look at stuff like this. Because I mean, Kishiro's not a physicist either. So if he likes to bring in physics elements to his stories, we can't expect him to be 100% correct, or else the story falls apart.
Yeah. Well, any of these things. Well, think about. I think I forget who it was that had mentioned a while ago. Did we see that? Did we see the Quicksilver scene? In X-Men. Actually, there's 2 scenes where he's running really damn fast. And he wasn't going anywhere near the speed of light. I mean, he was going pretty fast. I saw one estimate of him being 1% the speed of light or something like that, which would be like Maxie says, that'd be crazy because you'd run off the earth. But since that is, and since they've established that speed, we're going to go with it. We're going to have fun with it. And when we show it, we can argue the physics at that point. Because, like I say, I got three graphical representations of it. And to your point, Maxie, one of these races is going to be a 100-meter dash. So, so you can imagine how that's going to turn out.
Wouldn't it be a 100-meter blip? Because
I don't even know if a dash is a good way to call it that. I'm not
It's
sure
done before the start watch even recognizes things have started.
See, the redshift blue shift thing is also related to how your eyes work. So basically what you're doing is you're moving at a speed by which the lower energy red light is not keeping up with the higher energy blue light anymore because your eyes are moving so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's got to do with how your eyes work. Now, nobody's ever actually gone that fast to know that their eyes could actually even work when moving that speed. Hell, if you move up near the speed of light, how is the brain's electricity, which moves at the speed of light, going to move in? Like it might all just collect at the back of your head if you're looking forward. We just don't know.
Yeah, I mentioned that before you signed on there about how your neurons and your brain how it would cope with going that speed, because it's like you say, we don't know.
It's the same as gravity. Like, we don't know if people can live on Mars because the human biology is based on one gravity. If you make it a third gravity, we're probably going to grow taller. There's going to be all sorts of structural problems with our skeletons. Our muscles will change. We won't look the same anymore. And if we try to come back to Earth, we'll probably die. So
I feel like I'm the only one that's been saying that Mars is a bad idea. But I'm not a physicist, and all the physicists think Mars is a good idea. But what about the fact that the core is dead?
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Like, how are we going to get around that?
Well, you're not. You're going to have to continue to.
You're not.
You're going to have to continue to produce an atmosphere, not like Earth. Earth does continue to produce atmosphere and all that, but it's kind of a homeostasis, But Mars,
people smarter than me say
there is no homeostasis, because all the atmosphere evaporated away because there's no magnetic field around, or none to mention anyway, to protect it against the sun's radiation.
It does have an atmosphere, but it's 0.0025% that of Earth.
Yeah,
pretty much not there.
Yeah, 0.6%. Yeah, you're right, Maxie. So, but anyway,
but that's a subject for a different day.
Yeah, it is. And the creek is going to press forward whether you sons of bitches like it or not.
Well, I would say that's a good video for you to do, because Enigma Seeker made a video about Alita back when the movie first came out, about how maybe they should have made it on Venus instead of Mars, which is actually something that people talk about in real life. Maybe we should be trying to build in the clouds of Venus as opposed to the surface of Mars. But keep going.
Yeah, here's one.
She is my Venus, that's for sure.
Yeah, one of the things that David Watson says, what's going to happen? You're running that fast and you get hit by a grain of dust. Well, yeah, you're going to get obliterated. But one of the assumptions is going to be in the race that they're not going to encounter any obstacles at all. So,
what if
so,
if moving through the air, you're creating so much friction that you're like either you're burning up, or if your body can withstand that, everything else around you is burning up. Wouldn't that grain of dust just disintegrate?
Well, you would with it.
Yeah, but
You-
at least nanobots would
yeah.
repair itself.
Oh, the nanobots. I'm not sure about how that would work out because we just don't know. You know.
Actually, would it? Because like, would the nanobots be able to repair itself like that fast?
Here's a bit of actual real world physics for you. So spacecrafts, when returning to Earth, go 17,500 miles per hour. All right.
Yep.
And when they hit the atmosphere, if they're not at the right angle, they bounce off. But
Yeah.
if they are at the right angle, they manage to insert themselves into the atmosphere. But at such the atmosphere going past them turns them red hot, and they have to have a heat shield to burn up. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine that. It's like, oh shit, we're skipping on the atmosphere like a rock on a pond. Can't
But
fucking land.
That's
We
at
can't fucking land.
17,500 miles per hour. That is
it's-
that is nothing compared to the speed of light.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
not,
exactly, exactly. And you know what, Maxie? That's kind of like they got to burrow into the atmosphere, isn't it? When they're
Exactly.
coming in, yeah. So, but anyway, we are going to proceed, guys. These guys are going to run near the speed of light.
Straight off the side of the Earth within 0.000025 seconds.
Yeah,
Straight
no, they're
line.
not going to run off the Earth, but that's going to be. We're going to have to take a leap of faith on that one because they would run off the Earth if they were to go anywhere near that speed. You know, actually, they wouldn't even have to go near that speed at all. They could just go escape velocity 25 miles or 7 miles a second, and they're off the Earth. You know, so I mean, and the speed of light is many millions of times faster than 7 miles a second, or say 10 kilometers a second. You know, that's many times.
I heard an interesting factoid about light the other day. It takes 10,000 years for light that's created in the core of the sun to reach the surface, and 8
Yeah, I
minutes
heard
to
that
get
too.
here from there.
I thought it was-
10,000 years
that shit
and
is
8
crazy.
minutes.
I thought it was
Something
a
about
million.
this. There's too much stuff packed into the sun, so it just bounces around.
I thought it was a
inside of the
million
sun
years,
until it gets
Maxie.
out.
No, they said 10,000.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll go with that. Okay,
Yeah,
but anyway, pressing
there's
on
much stuff
over
in there.
y'all's objections. The Flash, the Flash is a metahuman. He certainly is very durable, but he's got to wear that suit. It's kind of like what Angelus was saying. If he doesn't wear that suit, he's gonna burn up. Now, at least in his universe, he's gonna burn up, and he also has to have fast reflexes. We saw that in the Snyder Cut, how when that truck, almost ran over his future girlfriend or whatever. What's her name? Iris or I don't remember. But anyway, how he slowed everything down. Well, that was actually his reflexes operating at high speed, And certainly to run at these kind of speeds, if you could do it, you'd have to have tremendous stamina. So, but anyway, in the Snyder Cut, and I think, Dan, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that because it was one of the coolest parts of that whole movie was him running toward Cyborg, to push him into the Unity. That was
Spoilers.
that was one of the coolest scenes ever, I think. So, he's a pretty fast guy, as they would say. And just to show you, there's a shot from the movie right here. This is where he is running, and he is running faster than the speed of light. Yes, that can't happen in reality, but he's doing it. So in their fictitious universe there, they are doing that. And another thing about this is that he did this for an extended period of time. Now, the inference was in this movie right here that as he was running toward the Unity that had begun to explode already, he was running toward it and everything was kind of shrinking back down, wasn't it, Dan? I mean, you saw that too. Everything was kind of going back to where it was prior, because when he first saw it, everything was expanding because it was an explosion. And he started running toward it faster than the speed of light, and it started shrinking back like time was being reversed, So that was in the movie. So, anyway, so that kind of speaks to the fact of how fast he is in the movie. Okay. Now here's another guy right here. This guy right here is from the MCU, and well, he's not from the MCU. He's from the X-Men universe, I guess. Which I guess in the MCU they're going to start introducing some of these guys now that Fox is no longer doing that one either. But there are two versions of this guy. There was a version of Quicksilver that was in the MCU, who's in the Age of Ultron, and then there's the other version that was in the X-Men universe. One of them, the guy on the left there, he's a mutant. Okay, so that in a very real way, he's like a metahuman himself, very similar. The guy on the right is just an enhanced human. As a matter of fact, I think those that have followed that movie or those movies, there was an organization called Hydra that was training him and his sister, the Scarlet Witch, to and enhancing their powers. So I don't think he's a mutant per se, but he has been trained and modified to the point to where he is really performing acts or whatever you want to call them that are like superhuman type level events type thing. He has all the reflexes, stamina, and all that stuff, just like the others, like Alita and the Flash, and he does move at relativistic speeds in both the X-Men Apocalypse movie, actually in the X-Men movie, where I guess one of the things he did was he freed Magneto from the Pentagon. It was supposed to be a jail down there. I can tell you, I've been in the Pentagon. There is no jail down there underground, or at least there wasn't when I was there.
Not that you know of.
Not that I know of. That's right. But no, Dan, I'm not a spook. So
Creaky. If they
Why
can
were you in the
run.
Pentagon then?
He was visiting Magneto in the jail, of course.
See, that's exactly what a spook would say, and a spook would say there is no jail. Don't worry about it. You'll know when we take you.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you like to see the jail? You might be seeing it for some time.
Yeah.
So anyway, now you know we can't let you leave. It's those sorts of statements.
So creaky is creepy and spooky.
Yeah.
Hey, Dizzy called me creepy one night, and I responded with, "Hey, if loving the movie Alita Battle Angel makes me creepy, I'm guilty as hell," because I do love the movie. So there you go. So anyway, that guy on the right there, or rather the guy on the left, that version, in both of those X-Men movies, he did move at relativistic speeds.
So wait,
In
those
the
are
Age of
same
Ultron,
guy?
the guy on the right also moved it at relativistic speeds.
They're the same guy in the same different whatever.
It's the same character, but they're in different universes, if you want to think of it like that.
Yeah, they went back in time or something, right? In one of those movies.
Not in those movies. I don't think they did. I mean, they had flashbacks back in time, but that's a memory thing. I think they had some of that stuff, but and I know the Scarlet Witch, she actually messed with Tony Stark's mind and that kind of stuff, let him see forward in time. But I don't think it was based on speed. I think it was just her ability to her telepathic ability was doing that. So anyway, this guy is also pretty fast, himself. And here's an example from the X-Men Apocalypse. Now you see on the right there what looks like a fire, okay? That is actually, and you would think of a fire like a campfire or maybe a fire you have in your fireplace or something like that. It's just burning and, it looks pretty and stuff like this. Well, this is not that kind of a fire. This is an explosion in progress is what that is. And he is standing there in front of this explosion, and he is altered time so much that you see those objects that are hanging in the air. He's able to touch them and move them out of the way and do stuff like that. And he can move many, many, many times faster than that fire. So anyway, what he basically does in the movie itself is he actually rescues something like 40 kids out of the Xavier School for the Gifted. and there was like 40. There was 40, and one of them he didn't rescue, of course, was Cyclops' brother. But anyway, because he was standing right next to the not right next to the reactor that exploded. But anyway, he got all of those kids, all 40 of them, out of there by the time that explosion actually demolished the entire building, and it was a total demolition of the building. I mean, the building was blown to smithereens, as we would say down south, you know? So he is pretty damn fast. Now, one of the things about him, and I saw a video where this guy calculated how fast he would have to run based on, how the rate of expansion of the explosion itself and the gas and all that. And he calculated his average speed to be 1% the speed of light. But what the thing about that was that a lot of times he was just standing around. He did stuff like he messed up a guy's hair. He ate some pizza. He drank, a pop, a soda can of Tab, I think it was, or something like this. He threw a dart, or he held a dart up in front of a dart board. He kind of did a moonwalk. He was just screwing around in there, and he even all that screwing around he still got all those kids out of there by the time that building was demolished. They were all standing at a safe distance, away from the building. So if that kind of speed was possible, you would have to be moving pretty damn fast to move all those kids by the time that explosion completely demolished the building. So that right there kind of is a testament of how fast that guy is, Quicksilver. He's kind of like he's kind of like Marvel's version of the Flash, rather.
But who came first? I mean, that's a bad question to ask, but I mean,
I think first? The Flash came first, but I am not absolutely sure about that one. Okay. Maybe somebody.
That's what she said.
That's exactly where I was trying to avoid.
Yeah, well, that's 50-50 with me on that area. Anyway,
if a woman calls you the Flash in the bedroom, it's not a compliment.
It's not a good thing, no. Or if she calls you Quicksilver, that's not a good thing either. So now here's this guy, Superman. He is a Kryptonian metahuman. Now, I think we discussed before, Maxie, I think you were on that stream too, that even though he's an alien, being from Krypton, the DC universe, those fans and the folks involved with it and all that still consider him a metahuman. They just consider Kryptonians humans that have a superior biology. So he can also move faster than the speed of light in the comics. Now, I think in the movie, in the first movie that Angelus was talking about, I think they didn't say how fast he was going, but I don't know if he was going faster than the speed of light in that movie or not. But I think in the Snyder cut and even in the theatrical release of the Justice League, I don't think he was moving faster than the speed of light. But I would say this about him, that he was moving fast enough to where he could effectively react to the Flash. Okay, so you remember there was that scene where Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Cyborg were all trying to tackle Superman. And all three of them were on him, but he was just standing there like they weren't even budging him.
Made the scene for me. The scene has absolutely dog shit fight choreography, but that part right there, I actually like that. And it was in the original Snyder cut, Justice League too, so I can't even fault that one for keeping that in. But no, to me that means that he's at least comparable to Flash. And Flash runs faster than the speed of light in the movie, right?
Yeah, in the Snyder cut, yeah.
So that means at least in the Snyder cut, Superman is at least up there. Flash wasn't going as fast as he could go, but Superman was only tracking him with his eyes. So
yeah, that's right. Because you remember he was running toward him. He thought, I got an easy hit here because he can't move as fast as me. And all of a sudden, he saw his eyes kind of go over toward him, and the look on his face was like, "Oh shit!" It's really funny to see the look on his face. And then of course Superman threw the other three off, and then tried to hit him. And of course, Flash was fast enough to dodge, and all that stuff. But but still,
was
Superman.
throwing these like gorilla punches. Like, dude, you don't know how to punch yet?
Yeah.
You're Superman. That's why Goku wins that fight. Because Superman can't fucking fight.
Oh, we're back on Goku.
Anyway,
Superman had only just woken up, and he was not at his best. All right?
Goku in his sleep would be able to annihilate that. I'm sorry, in his sleep, literally. But that's a subject for a different day. That.
Well, you know what? Then we'll have that. We'll have that stream. You know, we will. I mean, there's 2 or 3 videos on, or there's more than 2 or 3. There's a few videos on YouTube about Goku versus the Superman.
Yeah, the death battle ones are dog.
Yeah.
Seth, the programmer, is the guy I was telling you guys about earlier, and he's a huge Dragon Ball fan. Even he said that Superman would win. One version of Superman would beat Goku, the rest of them would not. But even he said that the death battle videos are dog shit because they are. They really lowball Goku. It's like, did you fucking watch the show? Like, y'all didn't watch the show before y'all did this, did y'all? But,
I think it was Ultimate Superman that would do him, but otherwise, no.
Yeah.
No, they really lowballed Goku and his feats. You know what I mean? Like.
By the way, Dan, I have started watching Dragon Ball. I watched that first couple of the episodes. You know, the one where Goku has a tail. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the OG version.
Yeah,
the real weird stuff going on there.
I
know
might.
it's weird.
Well, I may skip that one and go on to the second one. You know, I think that'd be a little bit more my speed. I think
you have to be understanding that no story appears fully, matured out of somebody's head. They start out and things are a little bit rough, and then it starts to pull together after a period of time. You know, like you never take the pilot of a TV show to be the quality of the entire run of the TV show. Things don't start out fully formed. They've got to come together. Yeah. So give it a chance.
I just want to say one thing about our buddy Finn out there. It kind of reminds me of of that movie The Watchmen. You know, when they were asking Walter Kovacs what his name was, Walter Kovacs says, "No, I'm Rorschach. There is no Walter Kovacs." So anyway, Finn now is not Finn Berserker anymore. He's Finistro. So,
okay.
Which is pretty cool, I think. So anyway, in the comic books, the Flash and Superman do race each other, you know, and it wasn't like Superman was flying either. He was running, you know, he was playing by the rules, you know, but anyway, they ran around the earth. I'm not going to say who won because that might give away, you know, what a couple of these simulations are. So
also, I remember they raced in the cartoon when I was a kid. There was a Justice League cartoon when I was growing up, which is where most of the stuff I know about this is from. But I remember there was an episode about that, and I don't remember. I just remember very briefly. Like, I don't really remember anything else about the episode, but I don't know. That's out there somewhere in the DC universe.
Well, it was also in the comic books too. I mean, it was it wasn't just in the cartoon. It was also in the comic books, you know. So
let me guess, Superman lost. So then they reinvented a new version of Superman the next day that would win. There you go. That's who won.
Well, there we go then. So
a new canon of Superman.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if Goku lost, they just reinvent a new form for Goku to transcend.
No, Goku would get better. Goku gets better after losing. It's what humans in real life do. You take an L and you learn from it. That's why it's called an L. It's a learning, not a loss.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So anyway, I'll apply that to my competition on Sunday. So anyway. Although I'm not going to lose. So there you go.
Hey,
so anyway.
There you go.
But anyway.
Maybe one day
I'm going to learn, Creaky.
Yeah, I'm going to learn whether I lose or not. Yeah. So anyway, but anyway, they do race, you know, and it was highly competitive, you know. So I'll say that, and of course, Dan's already spoiled it. Yeah, the Flash won, you know.
Oh,
so,
I know that. I literally just made that up.
Oh, you turkey! You
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you psyched me again. I was half expecting you to sign on as Dizzy, by the way.
I want to do Max, but I can't find his profile pictures. They're different every time.
Max keeps on changing.
Okay, now to what we were talking about a while ago, the laws of physics here apply to whatever universe or whatever fun thing or whatever, you know, environment or the character, whatever applies. This is not reality, folks. This is fantasy. You know, this is science fiction. This is superheroes. Alita's not a superhero, so this is Alita also.
The The only reality we're concerned with is the one that has an Alita sequel.
Yes, that's the only exactly. That's exactly. By the way, Diz, you can get your ass on the stream if you want to. Yes, sir, Diz. We can get you on here too, bud. So I'm gonna put
Watching it is.
let me put that in the
And
chat. in case
Angelus,
Diz-
Angelus, you don't understand. All realities have an Alita sequel in it.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes, they do.
Every last one. Because
And we
she has
are
to be
going-
everywhere.
We are going to get one. Absolutely. So, but also the second rule is that these four, there's four. I'm taking Quicksilver, even though it's two versions of it, as one contestant, but they're not going to run into any obstacles. They're not going to have to dodge mountains. They're not going to get obliterated by a grain of sand. Although I would say Superman, if he was to get hit by a grain of sand going the speed of light, it wouldn't affect him. The sand.
It might
the
ruin
grain-
his suit.
It might hurt his suit, yeah, but it would just the grain of sand would obliterate and he'd just keep going, But the rest of them, I think they might have a little problem, But anyway, they're not going to have that here, and there's not going to be any atmospheric friction that's going to burn them up or anything like that. So all of these individuals are going to be racing based on these damn harebrained assumptions that the creek has come up with here. So
Just a quick question. If Alita ran into a grain of sand, it just go straight through her and she just keep on going because she's operated with like less than half a torso before.
Yeah, that's true. Although at that speed, if this was reality and she ran into a grain of sand going near the speed of light, I'm not sure whether she had those nanobots or not would help her, because if it hit anything solid in her, it's going to be an explosion, So I don't know. So, any question about the rules, guys? Y'all want to argue about them or anything like that?
Not really. I just want to say one thing. Like the nanobots, right? In Last Order, the nanobots are in the air. Like they're just there, right?
Yeah.
So if they're racing in Alita's universe and she hits a grain of sand and it explodes, she will always be able to she's like Majin Buu. She will always be able to reconstitute herself no matter what, because there is nanobots everywhere. I mean, I guess maybe not in space, but maybe there is in space. Who knows in Last Order,
I think Cell would be a better.
No, because Cell has to have his body. He can regenerate parts of his body. Boo can just regenerate from, he's goo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't know. I think she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's aside that tangent. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So now that we have these wild ass rules that the creek just kind of arbitrarily came up with to aggravate you folks, let's have a quick little 100-meter dash, if you want to call it that, or as Maxie would say, a blip. Okay, so of what would happen. So we're going to race these guys 100 meters. Okay.
There's one thing that you've kind of forgotten about.
What's that?
Acceleration. How fast can they accelerate?
This is why you don't invite scientists onto your fucking power scaling show.
That's right.
Always ruining the fun.
Yeah, that's right. No, he's right.
I can't have a dinosaur pet. What the fuck?
Well,
I've got a bag of spanners and I got one for everybody.
But here's the thing: them running at normal speed like this at 100 meters, okay? You see that even though you see these different speeds right here, you can't tell the difference. And the reason why is that if you're going like the speed of light, and you run 100 meters, that is like 0.3 of 1 microsecond. It's going to be, nothing. You can't. You cannot. Your perception can't even register anything close to that. So what we might try to do is let's slow their asses down a little bit. We'll slow them down to 16 times. Same thing. It doesn't matter because they are going so fast that at that short period of time, they are not, you're just not going to know the difference. So what that says is whether if you're Alita and you're in that Imaginos body, and assuming that it does go near those speeds, that whether you're in that one or you're in Quicksilver or you're Flash or Superman or whatever, for that short period of time, provided you can stay on the Earth, that it doesn't matter, because at that speed, time is so short that it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. If you're going the speed of light, or if you're going even like 1% the speed of light, it's going to be just about the same. I mean, you're not going to be able to register a difference, between them. Now, where it gets interesting is when they're running around the Earth. Okay, now can you run around the Earth at that speed? No, because you're going faster than orbital velocity. However, we're going to assume that they do stay on the Earth. So in other words, here's what that race would look like. So here they're lined up and they go around the Earth. Now you see, it looks like
Quicksilver.
Yeah, well, Quicksilver is going 10% the speed of light. And the reason why I had him doing that speed, because in that one movie, they calculated, that one guy on YouTube calculated him being 1% the speed of light. But he was screwing around, he was, like say, he fluffed up a guy's hair. He drank a tab, he actually rescued a dog and then he ate the rest of the pizza and stuff like this, and he was just screwing around, he even walked around inside while all this was happening. He got those fish that were in midair and he scooped them into the water and handed it to that girl and, jetted her out of there, I mean, he was really nonchalant about it. He just kind of going around and, so I kind of said, okay, he was going 1% the speed of light on average, but when he was moving, he was going much faster than that. So in other words, he was going what I'm going to say is 10% the speed of light. So this is Alita in her Imaginos 1.0 body right here. Okay. And of course, Superman and the Flash, there's different versions of Superman. We're not going to get into that because that could be a subject for another stream, maybe particularly when he fights Goku. Get Den back on. But, you could see there in that race that they're running around the world, and it looks like Quicksilver is really slow. But think about how big the Earth is, 24,902 miles in circumference. And he covered that whole thing in 1.337 seconds. I mean, think about running around the Earth in a little over 1.25 seconds. That is blazing fast right there. So what we would do if we slowed them down. Now, by the way, you remember when we looked at this race right here? Do you notice the difference between this race in terms of the visual and this race? What'd you notice about that? You saw a red and a blue shift there, didn't you? Well, that was to Max's point a while ago that when Alita was inside that spaceship and she ran that fast, would you be even able to see red and blue shift? Now, in the manga, it says she did. Okay, but I think that is so fast, I'm not sure, So anyway, in a very short distance like that, I'm not sure. You might see a tint maybe, but, I don't know if you'd actually see it. So if you look at it, slowed down by a factor of 10, it looks like this, okay? So, poor old Quicksilver, he's really bringing up the rear here, okay?
Hold on, Gary, 1 second. I'm about to step away, but I can still hear you, okay?
Okay, that's cool. So, any thoughts, Angelus or Maxie?
I'm so befuddled by all your assumptions that
and that's why I did a Max.
I have no logical additions to add to this thing. I just let you do your stuff.
Yeah, there's no way.
If the logical doesn't make sense, the illogical, however fantastical might seem, must be true. That's how.
Boy, that's
how Sherlock Holmes.
That's That's not what he said. You're misquoting something shocking.
Well, that's Occam. That's a inverse.
Oh, I knew it wasn't
razor.
verbatim.
You know Occam's razor. I know you know what it is, Max. So, yeah. So that's kind of an inverse of it, actually, isn't it? Or I don't know what that is.
That's an angelicism.
Yeah, that's right. That's not an Aussie thing, is it?
God, no. He's special. Angelus's personal reality is special.
It has pineapple in it.
It has way too much pineapple. It's pineapple-flavored reality.
Yeah. So anyway, let's take a look at the second one. Now, what I want to do here is I want to basically I want to run Alita in her Imaginos 2.1 body, which the Creek has actually made some really harebrained assumptions on that one too, and we're going to put Quicksilver from the MCU in there. So anyway, they line up like this. We're going to run at normal speed. So Quicksilver in the movie, in that one movie, I think I can't remember the name of the movie now. It was the movie before X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah, I can't remember which one it is now. It's where I think it's the version where Wolverine goes back in time, at least mentally. I think. I don't know if you remember that one or not, but Quicksilver, runs around that kitchen.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, Days of Future Past. Thanks, Angelus. But anyway, he runs around that kitchen, and does that thing. But that was pretty much the same Quicksilver that ran in the other movie, in the X-Men Apocalypse movie. The one that we just saw was the Quicksilver that was in the Age of Ultron. So in other words, he in that movie was a little bit faster than Quicksilver. I know I got the same graphic there, but he's a little bit faster than the Quicksilver from X-Men Apocalypse. And of course, I'm making an assumption that since Alita's in the Imaginos 2.1 body, she can move 90% the speed of light. Now that is a wild ass guess by the Creek. So anyway, so if we slow them down, we say run them at 10 times, 1/10 speed. It's a little more perceptible, I guess. You can see that Alita pretty close to Superman in Flash in this particular simulation, but Quicksilver, way behind. Now I would say don't think that he's slow, because he ran around the Earth in just a little over half a second. So that's that's just something that is not really physically possible. But I mean, in the movie, that's about how fast he could move. So thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm a little bit. This is so far out of the realm of logic. I'll just leave Creaky to go with it.
Yeah, it's all based on your, how we butchered physics here, I guess.
Hey, Creaky, I've just realized that, Flash, Superman, and Alita might all be faster than Quicksilver, but Quicksilver is leet if you look at the last line.
He's what?
He's leet.
What do you mean?
1337, that's leet.
Oh, how about that? That's cool. I didn't think about that.
I've added something to the conversation now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, somebody's mic is on. Somebody's got their
speakers going.
Yeah, their YouTube is on or something.
Can't be mine.
Mine's muted.
That's probably Dan. Let's see if it's Dan.
Hang on, I'll mute myself and see if that does.
No, it's Dan.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
His headset might have.
Oh, bloody hell, Dan.
Yeah, well, he had to step away, so yeah, we'll let him back in. But anyway,
He'll probably start talking and realize that, oh my God, no one can hear me.
well, he'll see the little mute. He'll see the little mute icon or his microphone icon.
Can somebody unmute themselves if you've muted them, Creaky, or are they a done deal?
I'm not sure about that on StreamYard. I'm not sure.
Well, mute me and I'll see if I can turn it off.
Okay.
Now that you've muted him, don't unmute.
No, I can unmute myself. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
So he can unmute himself when he comes back. It's all cool.
By the way, that's something to remember for tomorrow. You can start talking at the end of the intro.
Yeah, I can unmute myself. Yes, I will do that. I will remember that, and I will do that.
Cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the thing we could do here.
Every day, learn something new.
Are you sure you'll remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I will. It's critical. So yeah, it's good to know.
So anyway, much to Max's chagrin, I guess we've shown how fast these guys and our pretty cyborg girl can run around the earth, provided they can stay on it. And she hangs right in there with them. And I think that's the main thing that I wanted to actually show in these half-assed simulations, is that Alita, even though she's not a superhero, she definitely is not that. But she does have capabilities. That's all right. She does have capabilities that are superhuman or superhero level. So go ahead, Maxie. I'm sorry.
So while this is all a whole bunch of fun, it does kind of destroy certain aspects of storytelling, because when people can run around the earth in points of a second and not fly off, which they really should, just keep going in a straight line and disappear off into the nether. Yeah. But presuming they don't do that, then it kind of destroys every idea about a travel story. Like it takes you time to get somewhere, and things can happen along the way. Nothing can happen along the way because you're there before you started. Yeah. And the question I have is, how do your eyeballs actually see where you're going?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because when you're going that speed, I mean, if you're in a starship and you're going at the speeds approaching light, let's say you're even going 50% the speed of light, and you'll see some blue shift, I think, to the stars that you're approaching. I think to you, your perception is I would say it doesn't change. Now, we don't know how 50% the speed of light is going to affect humans. We don't know that. But assuming that they can do that, to you, everything outside would look like it's moving slower. I mean,
your problem here is that if you're in a spaceship traveling through space, you're not navigating the surface of a planet. You're not attempting to
that's right.
deal with physical things in your way or find your way somewhere. You've plotted a course, you've gone really, really fast, and there's a lot of open, empty space, which is not going to cause you any problems. Yeah. Traveling that fast on the surface of any body, be it an Earth or another planet or anything, you've got to react to what's going on around you. The opening scene of The Boys, where the guy who runs really, really fast runs through a woman and disintegrates her.
Yeah.
That's going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not just going to be people. It's going to be trees and buildings and mountains and all sorts of things. So, I, as a scientist, I have a lot of problems with this, but I'm not going to make a big deal about it.
It's all just for fun. I would say this though: when you are moving at relativistic speed, your mass actually increases. So
you sink to the core of the Earth.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So that'd be another problem. And let's say there's a concept that they've applied to the Flash.
Are you saying Alita is heavy?
No,
but Tony does.
No, I would not.
Tony likes thick Lita.
No, but if there's a concept they've applied to the Flash and Superman in the DCEU called the infinite mass punch. And basically what that is they're moving, really close to the speed of light, and they hit somebody. It doesn't obliterate their hand, because their mass is increased so greatly, but whatever they hit gets obliterated,
Because I was going to say that Hugo thought Alita was heavy, and look what happened to him.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't because she was heavy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Even in the doll body, her future boyfriend says she's heavy. So.
Yeah, which is, like I said back then, that's a stupid thing for a guy to say to a girl he just meets. I mean,
but we all know that there's a fair bit of stupid running around inside of his head.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention, I think he's a wimp. So anyway.
Most young people do stupid things. It's part of the learning process.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys, that's kind of what I have on that fictitious race there. I would say one of our conclusions here about this, because this is all about Alita. You know, I mean, this is not about Superman or Quicksilver or the Flash. This is about Alita. She's really fast, and she's not as fast as in the comic books, say, or the manga, or say the movie. She's not as fast as the Flash or Superman. According to Creaky, she is faster than Quicksilver. But, Angelus, you know what's coming next, don't you? She's got the power of Uwu over all three of them. So, yeah.
I was gonna say I've got a solution for you for the acceleration thing, but I was just gonna see how you're gonna react when I brought that up. But basically, what you do is it's a certain amount of distance to reach a certain speed is basically acceleration. So basically, you'd start everybody with a handicap based on their acceleration, so that when they hit the start line, they will be going at the same speed and they'd all reach the start line at the same time.
Yeah.
So like Flash would probably start fairly close because he can accelerate really fast, but the leader would be further back and would start sooner, and you know, you just set it all up so they all hit the line at their top speed at the same time, and then just measure them over the 100 meters, which, you know, there's nothing on Earth that could measure that, but you know,
yeah, exactly.
That would be the way to deal with the acceleration issue.
That's the old 1/2 AT squared, isn't it? So yeah, exactly. So
and you know, the shock wave and the plasma wave from the atmosphere igniting would kill everybody viewing anyway. So.
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
It'd be like a disaster movie. It's like, we're gonna have a race. No, not on my planet. Go away.
Yeah, Dan, have you made it back yet?
Yeah. I was asking, was there a bunch of echo from me a second ago?
Yeah, that's why I muted you. I didn't do it to kick you off or anything.
No, my dog had gotten away to try to get to the girl dog next door. And I ended up chasing him, and my headphones went out of range, I guess.
Is that what they call puppy love?
Oh, well, one's a puppy, the other one's a full-grown woman, so, you know, it's kind of more like robbing the cradle. But,
yeah.
You know, he's lucky.
So it's not actually a dog, it's a cougar.
Yeah, he's a real large German Shepherd versus my 8-month-old Aussie. So I mean, he has some height difference to deal with, but I think you'll enjoy it. You know,
it's kind of like his daddy, isn't he?
It's kind of like the Resident Evil chick. You know, the 9-foot tall one that everyone was so obsessed about over the last few months.
Oh, Dizzy knows
that's what he sees. That's what the puppy saw. But sorry about that, guys. That's what happened. My headphones disconnected. Blah blah blah.
No, that's okay, man.
The only thing I know about that Resident Evil chick is the video where they show walking through that little door, and every time she walks through, he slaps her ass.
Yeah, it's actually a good game. I love Resident. It's anime. It's literally just anime.
So, what do you think? What do you think, Dan? How would Goku do against the Flash, say, in a speed race, not fighting? He'd kick the Flash's butt in a fight.
Well, here's the thing.
He'd win. He'd just use instant transmission. It's like,
yeah. and that's it. And that's another thing that pissed people off about Death Battle is the fact that they tried to calculate the speed of instant transmission, but Goku mentions his speed in the old shitty dub that everyone knows Dragon Ball for. Like when people think Dragon Ball, they think the old shitty Cartoon Network dub, and that was a dub. There's something they just made up in the dub. In the actual manga and in the Japanese version of the anime, it's instant. You know, it's literally instant.
Hence the whole instant transmission.
Yeah, the whole thing about him passing through higher dimensions and stuff, that was stuff that was put into a movie, and then the speed of calculation of it was in the bad translation. It's literally just instant. He pops from one side of the universe to the other side. So
is that Dragon Ball Broly thing or whatever that was? Or
what do you mean?
Was that the movie Dragon Ball?
There's like 14 Dragon Ball movies.
Oh, okay. The one that came out with the God, when was that?
Yeah.
20.
The one where Broly beats the living shit out of Goku.
That's technically the only one that's canon, but even that one, the canon's wonky because that Goku's not really the same Goku we get in the show, which isn't really the same Goku we get in the manga. Dragon Ball Super's canon's all fucked up. But it's not. It's canon, but in the show, Goku's thousands of times stronger than that. So if people are basing that, they use that to power scale him to Superman. Even that's not fair because y'all use the most powerful version of Superman. Why don't you use the most powerful version of Goku? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Goku the Super Saiyan against Superman Prime 1 million. That'd be an interesting.
Oh, Super Saiyan is like bottom of the barrel now. Like he's
Is that right?
Way stronger than that now. I mean,
wow.
think about it. Dragon Ball is the original shonen. So how shonens keep getting more powerful and powerful? Dragon Ball has been going since '84. You know, that's a lot of power creep that you got. It's like 30 years of power creep. And Super Saiyan's nothing now. Like Goku in his latest form, in the like the lower version of his later form. Like he's way stronger than that now in the anime. So that's why the Dragon Ball Broly movie was weird because Goku's way weak. They had to depower him for that movie, which makes you think it's a different canon. But in the lower version of where he's at now, he shook the entire multiverse by standing still. His presence alone shook the entire multiverse. Like, you know, it was a space outside of our space, outside of our known universes. And
I hope he doesn't need to fart because we're all in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Superman needs to weigh the solar system, and it's like, yeah. So I mean, we're way beyond that shit now. You know what I mean? But in all these little like dick measuring contests that they have between Superman and Goku, they never include that shit. And it's like, dude, that's the latest season. Why didn't you include the latest fucking season? You know what I mean? But you want to choose Superman 1 billion times a trillion? Like, who gives a fuck? That's fucked up. You can't choose the most powerful. That's like me going into a fight with one fucking hand. It's like, of course I might lose. Might being the key word, depending on which hand it was.
Yeah.
But, you know, of course I might lose.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that you're right. That's not fair. You know, I mean, they should take the most current version of each of the. If they want to do that kind of a comparison, you know, which I think, in the big scheme of things, is really they're different universes. It's you know, a lot of subjectivity gets into it, kind of like this these things I did here. Yeah,
you know,
it doesn't.
Fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I don't really hate Superman. Like, there's on the internet, people think that like Goku fanboys like me, which I am self-admittedly, hate Superman, whatever. Not really. It's just Superman's not my cup of tea. But I did like Man of Steel. I think it's good. I think there's some good Superman fiction out there. I'm just not really into superheroes in general. But you know, it's just that I don't know. Superman's fine. You know.
Yeah, I like Man of Steel. I thought it was good.
A lot of people hated it. I've always defended Man of Steel.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it.
They say, oh, he's destroying the city. Well, dude, listen. He's new to using his powers, and he's fighting someone his own size. That's always been one thing I've used against Superman in the fight against Goku, is that Goku only fights people. He seeks out people stronger than him. Whereas who does Superman fight? Fucking bank robbers and a monkey with a big brain? Like, no one, he doesn't really fight anyone. So no matter how strong you are naturally, if you've never been challenged and pushed, you're gonna be shit. You know what I mean?
Well, he did fight Darkseid though. I mean, Superman.
Yeah, that's one guy. You know how many guys Goku has taken down that were stronger than him?
Well,
like that's his entire life goal.
Well, there's another guy called but there's another guy called Lobo, and then there's Bizarro Superman. I mean, they're pretty potent themselves, you know.
All right, we're gonna compare that. That'll be a great way to do this when we finally do this. We're gonna compare Goku's body count of people stronger than him versus Superman's body count. You know what I mean? And it's not. I don't think Superman has fought that many people stronger than him, because that's the thing about Goku. He seeks out people stronger than himself, or else he's bored. That's why he's not a superhero, or else he'd be fighting bank robbers, and that would bore him. He literally leaves it up to the police, you know? He doesn't give a fuck about that. He wants
from
to
what little I know about Goku, he's always striving to get better, isn't he?
He seeks out people strong, whether they're good or bad. So Frieza was a bad guy, but he really fought him because he was stronger than him. Jiren is a superhero, like kind of like a Superman stand-in. He was a good guy. Goku didn't give a shit. He just wanted to fight him because he was stronger.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a big digression there.
It's a hobby with him.
Well, he's a fighter. He's a warrior. You know what I mean? What are Spartans without war?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, what is an MMA fighter? There's no UFC or Bellator or whatever, ONE FC.
Yeah.
Octagon.
Yeah, it's like it's another thing. A lot of people, like like to say, oh yeah, these Rangers have been deployed overseas for so long. Let's bring them back. We're sad for them. It's like, wait, they chose the hardest job in the military because they wanted to be tested. You know, read Black Hawk Down. Those guys are like, yeah, we want to go to war. Not that they want to kill or they're war hungry. It's just that when you dedicate your life to something, you want to do it. And that's the thing about Goku. He's not a superhero because robbers are too easy. The only time he's ever fought robbers when they try to rob him.
Yeah.
And, you know, Superman's not like that. Superman spends his time trying to save the world and be a good guy, which in turn makes you weaker because that's time that you're not training.
Yeah.
And Goku spends his time training. That's just the fact of the matter. And it doesn't matter how physically strong you are. If you don't know what to do, if you don't know how to employ that strength, you're not going to be good at it. It's like giving a gun to a monkey. Yes, guns are strong and powerful, but the monkey doesn't know how to shoot. So it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, he's more apt to shoot himself than he would be.
You know, it's like it doesn't matter. I'm not saying Superman doesn't know shit, but I'm just saying Goku dedicates his time to taking down people stronger than him. Whether Superman's stronger than him or not, it's going to be a terrible time for Superman. And at this point, Goku's so overpowered.
It'd be a great fight. By the way, just a fan had an observation about Alita being a 13-year-old and 5'2". Now, Maxie, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought in the movie at the beginning, Alita was 14 years old and 4'11". Is that not right, or am I wrong about that?
You're both a little bit off. So there's two Alitas. So you've got to be careful.
Alita's taller than Cranberry, that's for sure.
Yeah, okay, shut up. You're not helping. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky because it depends what you're talking about. The original body in the movie was made for a 14-year-old, right? So Alita Ido was 14 when she died. Okay, so it's a 14-year-old's body, but Alita's core, Alita as a cyborg, who we presume was blasted off that tube, or at some point was blasted off of Zalem and fell to the ground, but we don't know exactly what happened there, and we'll find out probably in the sequels. But she was probably about 19 when she died, so her brain's age is 19.
Okay.
But she's been in existence for over 300 years, but in a sort of a time bubble. So much like the way the Berserker body was preserved out of time in the ship, her brain was supposedly preserved that way. There's suggestions about that in the novelization.
Yeah.
So basically, from the information provided by the different sources that are canon into the movie, she's 19. She starts out in a 14-year-old's cybernetic body when she's woken up, but she's actually been around for 300 years. So this is three different sort of ways of looking at it, and that's why people get so confused.
That Alita that was on the tube with Hugo, boy, she sure looks a lot more mature than 19 to me. I mean, I thought she was like 22 or maybe even as much as 24. You know,
there's physical age, but you've got to remember that cyborg body is not a human body. It's been created that way. So
that's right.
Much like people buy clothes that are a little bit big and grow into them, perhaps they age the cyborg body a few years older than the person, so they don't have to change it in a year.
Yeah. But doesn't that Berserker body, though, it kind of reconfigures itself based on the person's self-image, doesn't it? I mean, there's some
the body, not the face.
Oh, that's right. It wouldn't be the face. That's exactly right. Yeah.
No. It's almost like they're two different technologies. Like, obviously, all the Martian stuff was peak cybernetic technology, but the body was morphable. The core didn't seem to be. It wasn't like her body, which is basically everything on the external side below the shoulders, did all that morphy stuff. Yeah. But her facial features didn't change. None of that changed. So it would seem like whereas the body has the morphing ability, the head is kind of fixed, unless the nanites get into the head and then give it that factor, because you don't know exactly how these nanites work. That's never explained. Exactly. You don't know what they can do, whether it's an effect of the nanites or the body itself. Like, does the material have to be morphable and then that nanites can change it, or can they do it to anything? So
I guess based on her coming from Mars. She was like what 17, and then of course she you might be right about that 19 thing, but I was just judging by the way she looked on on that tube. I went, damn girl.
And I mean, these are arbitrary numbers as well. People can look a lot older than they are, a lot younger than they are in years, and I suspect that most of it was done so that people weren't going to be getting, oh, she's having a relationship, she's only 14, this is disgusting, blah blah blah. But then, of course, they're imprinting normal human biological norms on a cyborg, which is a completely different organism. You're not going to have the problems of underage sex and all that because she can't. So
yeah, that's right. She doesn't
this is a whole nother stream talking about
I'm not part of this conversation. I've yeeted myself from this conversation. I don't even want to be. I want to be in smell shot of this conversation.
Well, look, we can go into the manga and the whole weird dynamic between Ido and Alita if you like.
Yeah, but that was I don't know. That was just painted as Ido being fucking weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ido, and that's why I like the manga too, because like I said, everything is shades of gray, and everyone has that kind of dark side to them. Even Alita's not innocent. And I like how subtle Ido's was, because you kind of got to think about it. Like, wow, that's fucked up when you think about it. You know what I mean? And it's not like overtly thrown out there in your face like a lot of anime likes to do these days. It's like tell you exactly what to think and feel at all times. You know what I mean? But
the only version of Alita that had the plumbing for that would be the version of Alita that was at the end of Last Order. And then the other Alita, took off for Jupiter, not Jupiter.
Yeah, but I don't mind that scene because she's like 30 at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking time is fast.
Actually, I think she was older than that. I think she was probably like 33, 34, I think. So
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Well, there was one reference there that she said at the beginning of the last volume or volume 7 or whatever it was of the Last Order, where she said she acknowledged it had been 14 years since she was in Iron City at the beginning or whatever. It was something like that. So anyway, that would, if she's 19, like Maxie says, that'd be like 33. So, yeah, but all the other versions of Alita, no, she doesn't have the plumbing. So, she can't do it. So.
Yeah, so but I mean,
one of the versions of the script they wanted to put that in, and I'm like, that's a little bit too far, guys. At least for this time in the franchise.
Yeah.
Actually, in the novelization, she says that she can do anything a normal girl can do, and I'm like, really? Like you can incubate a baby? I'm doubting this.
That was a teenager saying that too, Maxie.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm the one who read Last Order. You know what I mean? With the penis monster in Rakan, and even though I was like, man, it's a little bit too far. Like, I don't know. That's just it's just weird.
Maybe by the fourth movie.
Like I've seen plenty of vaginas in my life. You know what I mean? I'm married, but it's just weird in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad they took it out.
Rakan was bad enough, but the thing from Mercury. The giant penis monster.
Yeah. That was weird. I'm not saying that's not weird.
That was extremely weird.
He obviously didn't prescribe to the first rule of the internet.
Well, there was another version of Alita too that was human. You remember that I think it was at the end of it wasn't part of the original the original manga, but it was one of those stories. After the end, they had Kishiro would have like 2 or 3 stories. And there was one where Figure 4 showed up, and he somehow, they got her DNA, and she was in the wall or something. I can't remember exactly, but Alita came out of the wall, and it showed them hugging each other. And she was naked.
You're getting confused with the end of the non-canon versus the end of Last Order. So the end of
that's what I said was the end of the original manga, not
So the end of the non-canon ending of the original series. She basically comes out of the space flower.
Yeah,
that's right. She's human.
Yeah, that's the only other.
That seems like a fever dream to me, because basically Kishiro does that again through technological means at the end of Last Order. So as I said, these things aren't, in their final perfect form immediately. They've got to be refined, and a lot of the times when you're writing a serialized things like this, you'd often write something and then look at it later on and go, oh shit, I could have done that better, but you can't revise it because it's already out there. But basically what he did was he said, oh, this bit's non-canon and I'm going on, and then he revised it right at the end, and he did it a different way, and it made more sense within the universe. So,
well, you know what was neat about it though, Maxie, is even though it's not canon, like you say, I still enjoyed reading it. I mean, it was still entertaining, you know. So
for sure, some of the scenes there are iconic, like the destroying the suicide booth scene. That was great.
Yeah.
And I think the non-canon ending has the block of dead people, frozen dead people.
Yeah,
that was freaky.
Right. Yeah.
I love that bit. I actually reused that in Freaky Creaky. Yep. So we got.
I'm not dead yet, Angelus.
We got freaky, creepy, spooky, creepy, creaky. Oh God, I can't do it. So yeah, but that block of frozen, squished up bodies, I actually reused that in a horror game that I wrote. I had the same thing.
Freaky creaky. He's freaky.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be as creepy as me, Angelus, when you get my age.
To be that creepy, you've got to have a good imagination.
Yeah, you do. I got a good imagination, I can tell you.
So aren't any of you even vaguely curious about what my PFP is? My avatar
for the older people. I said you're always changing that shit. I thought you would say something then.
Well, basically, I decided to change it to what I'm watching at the moment.
Well, that ain't that love
Anime
story
porn?
thing, is it?
No, that would be hentai, and no, it's not hentai.
The one Cran likes, you know. Well, she didn't say she liked it. She just,
Cran makes good use of it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
No, this character is Motoko Misika from a certain scientific railgun, which I'm watching at the moment.
What is that?
So why this is really cool? Yeah, David knows it. Why this is really cool is because the guy who wrote it. It's obviously an anime from a manga, but there's 3 mangas, and he's written 3 mangas across the same time period from 3 different characters' point of views. And I find it really fascinating because I watched the first series, which is called A Certain Magical Index. Now, Index is one of the main characters. She's got magical grimoires inserted into her brain, and but she's a really pain in the ass character. You know, one of those sort of slapsticky characters who are just annoying all the time to the main character. But the guy that she ends up like cohabiting with, because she's a nun, so nothing's happening there. But he's a really nice guy, and he's a fucking hero. Like, you describe people as heroes, but this guy is just he's down to earth. He loses his memory, and he just pretends like he knows what's going on because he doesn't want to worry people.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. The character is amazing. But the certain magical index actually revolves around him, and he's got this power in his hand, which is to stop any. There's 2 different types of powers in this universe. There's ESPA powers, which are ESP powers, which are scientific, and you improve them using scientific technique. And there's levels 1 to 5, but they're trying to create a level 6, and some fucked up shit happens around that. But he is a level 0 ESPA, so that means like he has no discernible ESPA powers. But he's got this power in his right hand to cancel out any magical or ESPA power if he gets his hand in the way of it or touches it.
Wow.
And that makes him pivotal. There's no one else like him. So that they all underestimate him, and he basically, anytime anybody's in trouble, he's there. And he puts his life on the line so many times for people. And the writing is such that you've got a bad guy, and they look bad to start with, but then you start understanding their motivations, and you realize that they're trying. It's one of those no bad guy really just goes out to wreck face. They're doing something, thinking they're doing the right thing, but they're doing it the wrong way. And he basically cancels out their powers, understands them, and then gets them to join his side. So he goes around collecting the bad guys, except for one, which was a fallen angel. That was kind of difficult to comprehend, really, because
Why can't I do that
not a human.
with you? Because you seem to spread all your anti-pineapple heresy and.
I don't say anything about pineapple till you bring it up, dude.
That's why he brought it up.
But anyway, the magical thing a bit from a writer's perspective of these series is that you watch a certain magical index, and then you watch a certain scientific railgun which came out after it, and there's different parts of the stories, but there's certain intersections where the two stories converge and the storyline is the same but from a different point of view, and you see it through the first time. And you go, okay, this is cool writing. Some of these stories are really like impactful, and you understand this main character. And then you swap over to the second one, which is the central character's Motoko Misaka, who's the railgun, and you see it from her point of view, and then you see what led up to her being in the other scenes in the first season. You go, oh, that's why she's doing that. And you also see other characters that pop up in this one that were in the other one, and you go, oh, that's her, and she was doing that, and now she's there. Oh, and you find out more background about her, and it's just an amazing way to sort of experience the characters. It's really, really engaging.
Well, Max, go ahead.
Could you imagine, Den, if you were obviously like Goku's kind of like the main character for Dragon Ball Z, but imagine if they made one that talked about Frieza and why he was doing what he was doing and giving more background and humanizing him. He's not a human, but like making him more relatable. You might then look at him in a different way.
I know what you're talking about. I get that doesn't work for Dragon Ball Z, or at least for that character. But no, I know what you're saying. Like if they had made a Halo from a different perspective, or you know what I mean. Like it's kind of like what I said about the Empty Man. I would like more stories in that universe, but not a sequel for that story, for that movie. You know what I mean? I want a different. I see what you're saying. No, I get it.
But this writer set out to give you one point of view and then flip it and give you other points of view.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
There's a third one now. There's a character in this. Like there's only 5 level 5 Espers in Academy City. That's where it's based. And Motoko Misaka is rated number 3. The number 1 rated one is an asshole, and he's an asshole because he's the most powerful person on the planet, basically. Well, no, except for fallen angels and stuff. He doesn't know about those though because he's in the scientific.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Bingo. Well, they're trying to turn him into basically a god. They're trying to up his power level. There's all these scientists doing science for science sake and not thinking about the morality of it, which is a whole nother kettle of fish, which I can relate to. But they're trying to turn him into a level 6, and he's an ass. But he gets beat down by the guy with the hand that cancels out powers. And I mean, it's not an easy thing. The guy with his name's Kamajo. He nearly dies, having set out to do this to help other people, because there's this really dodgy experiment going on. But I won't go into the details of that because just watching it is like, oh my god, this is amazing. Oh my god, fuck.
Yeah. I'm going to guess that your wife is not a fan of anime, and that's why you wanted to tell us. No, I get it.
She's not at all. Not even a little bit.
What does she say when she catches you watching it? Like, you got to close the computer loud and really fast. Like, oh, shit, I was watching porn, not anime.
No, she hates porn even more. But the lucky thing for me is
is there any evidence of, not to get too on reality here, but I was just curious. Is there any actual scientific evidence that ESP actually exists? Do we have anything like that?
I haven't looked into it. Research research is a thing where it's not 100% a surety.
Yeah.
People examine
Well, that's
an
why I said
effect or an
evidence.
event or something. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in this universe, in this manga universe, it's very evident that it's real, and they're using scientific techniques to improve it. So people start. There's 5 levels of Esper power that they've recognized, and
Yeah.
most people start at level 0, level 1, and then they've got to train it up. So it's much like with Dragon Ball Z, where they've got to train themselves up to get better and better and better. Same deal here. It's not a free ride. You've got to work hard at it. But I mean, this character, Motoko Misaka, she's 16, and apparently she's been working hard at this since she was 4. So that's why she's made it to level 5. And now some people aren't. I don't know whether it's a mindset or whether it's physical, but they're not. Not everybody can do that. There's only certain people who can push their power that far, and that's why there's only 5 of them.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not a free ride. There's no free lunches.
So all humans are level 0 then.
Yeah, according to the way they
so we
do
are
this.
espers then. We just have level 0.
Right.
By the way, I wanted to. One thing I want to do is kind of do a little report. Last Sunday, I went to Take On Any's or Do Not Stand By is his actual Twitter name.
Oh,
But-
the 3D
Yeah, I
show.
went to the 3D showing, man, and I didn't take any video of it because the wind was blowing real bad and it kept blowing the screen down, and it was kind of drizzling rain, but we sat through it anyway.
How many
and-
people were there?
Oh, there was just he and I were the only 2 there because I guess the weather wasn't all that great, but it was a lot of fun. That thing knocked my head off. I mean, just seeing that thing in 3D. Oh man, that thing. I mean, it's like it was almost like I'd never seen the movie before. I mean,
When you come to Australia, we'll all cram into my office and we'll watch it in 3D on my 55-inch screen.
oh, cool. Yes.
Banned from Australia.
Your band.
And
Yeah.
that's in between the later viewings.
Yes.
No. This was Alita. We're talking about Alita again suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we
Gotta
watched
keep
later
updated.
in between the later viewings.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was saying watching the 3D.
We'll watch it in 3D and then we'll watch it in 4K. How about that?
Yeah, 4K or 2D. Yeah. So.
Unfortunately, they never did a 3D 4K codec, so there's no way of doing it.
Yeah, I think next time Do Not Stand By wants to get Alita Rave and a few more people there, because it was kind of the weather.
Are they all in the
wasn't
same
great.
area?
Yeah, he lives. Do Not Stand By lives up in Arvada, which is about 25, 30 miles from my house here, and Alita Rave lives up in Fort Collins, which is about 50 miles from my house. So,
It's an Alita Army area.
yeah. Well, there's 3 of us anyway. But what he wants to start doing, which I think is the coolest thing, is he wants to start kind of like a recruitment of Alita fans around the Denver area, and he wants to be showing them the 3D, And it's really cool because the way he has it set up is he's got his screen set up and the mountains are in the background, and he likes to shoot that he likes to show that initial few scenes, where how orangish it is in the scrapyard and
The
it's
sunset.
wide.
The start at the sunset, yeah.
Yeah, right, and the sun is setting behind the mountains, and that was really a cool effect, But that
Wow.
3D knocked my head off, man. That thing was great. So, it makes me want to get a 3D projector or something, So,
Oh, look, you can't beat it in 3D. Alita 3D is the best 3D. Like I have never seen a movie better. Even Avatar doesn't get there.
yeah,
Avatar 2 might beat it, but Avatar no.
yeah. But it was man. We had a great time, So, watching just he and I were sitting there, and it was sprinkling rain and and wind was blowing and we were still sitting there watching it, and I'm just glued to the screen, I mean, it was amazing. So
Just let me show you a couple of things, and I'll get off
Sure.
the topic that I jumped onto. But this is a short video of Mystica using her railgun power. Basically, she's a electromaster, so she can control electricity.
Wait, are we
And,
still on
she-
stream? Are we still live?
Yeah,
I
we're
think
still
so,
live.
yeah.
Can we
She
show
can-
this without getting a copyright claim?
No, it's a couple of seconds. It's fine.
Okay.
There's the whole first season up on YouTube, so I don't think that it's going to be a huge problem. But this she can basically control electricity, and because she control electricity, she can control magnetism as well. So she's like a little Magneto as well.
Yeah.
But she can stick to walls that have rebar in them. She can zap people. In fact, Carmen Joe, who's the main character in the other one, the Magical Index one, he calls her Zapper, and she keeps trying to zap him, and he keeps negating it. And it's really funny. But basically, she carries around a pocket full of coins, and she uses them as ammo for her railgun. So she does this sort of shit.
When you say she's got a rail gun, what's the? She doesn't have an actual rail gun, does she?
She is the railgun.
She is the rail gun. Okay, so she's
So
able
she
to,
has a metallic object like a coin,
and she can
and-
shoot it with magnetic
and
force.
she uses her electro for power to just basically blow shit up.
Yeah,
And it is really cool.
My wife would like that.
yeah.
Oh, this is a great show. Now she's only 16, so she's
Yeah, my wife would probably enjoy it. She loves all that stuff. She's watching like Demon Slayer now, and I can't get into it. You know what I mean? But she loves that kind of stuff. you
Well,
know?
Dan, your wife likes anime, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's a big anime fan. She likes everything though, you know. So she loves Marvel and DC and superheroes. So
there's all sorts of Esper powers. So there's no, it's not like, oh, there's one thing. There's all sorts of Esper powers, and people develop them differently. There's a girl who can touch things and basically cause them to shoot off like a rocket. Accelerator, who's the most powerful one, he can basically adjust any vector. Anything that's moving, he can adjust it. And he works out at one point that he can basically take control of the atmosphere, which was bad news because he was creating plasma. But he's bad news, that guy. But he gets humbled, which is nice to see. But in this shot, well, I'm calling her Sissy, but that's the other girl's nickname for her. Mystica has a roommate who is in love with her and is unrequited, but she can teleport. So basically, they work together. The other girl's level 4, Mystica's level 5, and there was a bunch of terrorists getting away in a helicopter, and they had a friend of theirs taken hostage. So the teleporter teleported them through the air, multiple teleports to get up above the helicopter, and then Mystica just drops down in front of the helicopter and does this. Just blows the rotor blades off the helicopter. So there's a lot of action in this show. It's really good fun.
yeah, she'd definitely enjoy that kind of stuff.
But when two Espers, high-level Espers go at it, it's like, you know, everything gets fucked up.
She probably already knows about this show, to be honest with you. She probably does like it.
But the most interesting thing is that there's a third series that they're writing now called A Certain Scientific Accelerator, based on the really dodgy, most powerful Esper guy. So it's his take on what happens. So going through it again from another point of view, and you know he's got problems, like seriously, like God complex, kind of screwed up.
Super narcissist.
Yeah.
Death Note, that was one anime I did watch. Like that kind of thing.
But yeah, I highly recommend the series. I'm near the end of season 2 of Railgun, and I've got season 3 to watch, and then I've got the 12. It's only 12 episodes of Accelerator, so they didn't do a 24th season for that one. But there's lots to watch, and it's good fun, and you know, it's got the whole Japanese slapstick and really cool moments and powers and magic and angels and all sorts of stuff going on in it. So
Yeah,
it's
I
good
might
fun.
check it out myself, but it's not going to be number one. You know what's going to be number one?
Oh no,
Me.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
There's only one number one.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, but I think I might check that out. So, what streaming service is it on, Mac?
So you can watch Magical Index and Scientific Railgun on Netflix.
Okay.
They're both on Netflix. The dubs are very, very good quality, so it's much easier to watch those, I find, than reading it. Because you want to watch the action, but you've got to look down at the bottom of the screen to read what they're saying.
Yeah.
Also, I find the tones of the voices in the Japanese just sort of rub me up the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah.
All the guys are sort of talking like this the whole time, whereas the English dub, they sound like us. So
So this is dubbed with English then, translate.
yeah, English dub.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I tend to watch a lot of shows that have a good English dub just to save the time of reading it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who are purists about anime and say you've got to watch the subs. The dub's cheating, but
I don't feel that way.
no, me neither.
Yeah, that's why I like One Punch Man in English. That's pretty cool too. I liked it when he took out that Deep Sea King. He only punched him one time. He was done.
That show is better than I actually. To me, that's a really good show. I was actually thinking about going back and watching that one again.
Yeah. That's a good.
I never watched season 2. My wife watched season 2, but I never watched that one. I'm thinking about maybe watching season 1 again.
Yeah.
And then going and checking out season 2.
If we could relate something like that to Alita, then we could do something like One Punch Man versus Goku.
Well, yeah, they already did that. Seth the programmer did that like 2 days ago. And the thing about One Punch Man is that he's a gag character, and
that's
why
right.
a lot of people think that because One Punch Man's a gag character, then he automatically wins. But Dragon Ball started out as a gag manga with Goku being a gag character, and they already have a gag character in Dragon Ball. But from the actual feats that they state in the show, Kid Goku in original Dragon Ball would beat One Punch Man. Because One Punch Man was powerful enough to destroy the surface of the Earth. Yeah. Whereas in original Dragon Ball, they were destroying planets already. They blew up the moon. So that's pretty much a planet, Yeah,
there's a video I saw on YouTube of One Punch Man versus Thanos, and it was kind of hilarious.
It's kind of weird because he's a joke character, you know what I mean? But
he's
a joke character with a good story.
Goku. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Goku was a joke. He was a joke character. No, he was, because it was a whole parody of Journey to the West. The Monkey King.
Yeah.
So Goku was a joke character at first. But,
what I find funny about One Punch Man is he's what they call a class B hero, But
yeah, it's pretty funny.
And all the class A and S class way ahead of him, and he's more powerful than any of them.
Yeah, it actually is it's a legit show. Like I trash on anime a lot, but that one's not so bad. And
it's funny, That's what I like about it,
And that last fight where he got kicked to the moon, that was pretty dope too.
Oh yeah, it's where he was fighting that. What was that guy? It looks like a crystal creature guy. Something. Yeah.
And he kicked him to the fucking moon. And like he just wakes up and he like looks around himself. But then, as I pointed out, that happened in Last Order like 2 years before. So I think,
really?
Yeah, I think if you go to my video about different mediums that Alita can come out in, I compared that when I was talking about maybe an Alita anime. I showed the fact that there are some other stuff that's popular that may or may not have taken inspiration from Alita. Who knows? And I put the dates on it, so I don't remember exactly when the date was when Last Order did that. I think it was like 2012 or something like that. It was like 2012 to 2016. One Punch Man versus Alita doing the kicked to the moon scene.
What would be interesting to do a stream on would be put Alita in Dragon Ball Z universe and then kind of show her progression through the bodies and then figure out at what point
by the way, Max,
Goku
that was a good comment.
Vegeta would be really interesting. At what point would Goku and Vegeta be interested in her once she got to in a body that has a certain amount of power? That'd be kind of an interesting little discussion right there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think Imagine they would find it interesting, you know.
Yeah.
And
Particularly 2.1.
yeah, I think they'll definitely find that, some. Oh, okay, she's pretty strong. Let's see what she's got. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is their thing, in it. From what little I know, is okay. This person's pretty strong. Let's see what they got.
Yeah, that's why you got all those memes. I don't know if y'all seen those Dragon Ball
Yeah.
memes where it's like Vegeta and he's completely bald, and Vegeta saying, "Kakarot, this cancer thing is pretty strong. I don't know if I'll win this time." It's crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Or like Goku dying and going to heaven, and him talking to God, be like, "Oh, I heard you're pretty strong." You know what I mean?
Let's fight. Yeah. Hey, Kunstler99, how's it going?
Jeffrey.
Hey, what's up?
We was hoping you'd tell us.
Yeah, shut up.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
work-
Yeah,
Finished work for the day by the sounds.
Yeah, you're kind of at the tail end here, Jeffrey. But I mean, we're going to stay on after we get through here.
Man, you call him by his whole name? I pull out Jeffrey.
Yeah, well, that's not his name. That's
Well, you can't do the two-tone thing with Jeff. Jeff. You go, Jeffrey.
yeah.
Pronounce the last F different than the first F. You know,
Yeah.
Jeff Fafa.
put more emphasis. More emphasis. You know.
How are those speakers looking?
Oh, I mean, I've been focused on moving into my new home that I'm now
Ah.
own. Well, I
Oh,
mean,
you
the
got a
bank.
house?
Oh, congratulations!
Hey, Jeffrey's taken another step along the road to being a supervillain. He now
No,
has a
seriously,
laser.
listen.
I have a laser.
Stop renting. Get a house. I've been a big advocate of that, man. Own your own shit. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, no, I bought it for probably way too much because this market is crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
We got ours like right before the market went nuts. You know what I mean? Right when COVID started, and it was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good for us.
yeah,
By the way, Ash Blackwind had a good observation here. Who would win between Alita and the Berserker body without her Damascus blade and a kind of a cross between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Patrick, whatever his name is, the T-1000. We had
Well,
a
we can't
stream
do a
on that
cross.
about. Well, we had a stream about that 4 weeks ago or so, and of course we were all biased, but the consensus of everyone on the stream was Alita would win that fight pretty easy. So that. But anyway, that
So-
was just us.
I think it
Yes, my
depends. So
fingers.
T800, Alita would annihilate him
Yeah.
easily. The T1000. The reason why I say we can't do a cross is because there's not really like that doesn't exist in the fictional world yet. So there's nothing like we can pull from the, you know what I mean. But for the
Yeah.
T1000, Alita would have to know its weakness. You know what I mean? That's really the way to beat. The
Well,
T1000.
not really, because she would, but she has that plasma weapon, and she don't need a sword for that. She could melt his ass because
That's
if you
true.
remember, he went
So-
down in that cauldron and he melted, so she could do
In
the
the
same
movie,
thing
we
to
didn't
him.
really see her use the plasma in like creative ways. We just saw her cover the sword in
Yeah,
plasma.
that's right.
But manga Alita, so we don't know if she knows really how to do that at this point. But manga Alita, so basically what I'm saying is in the movie as it is right now, that'll be difficult for her. But manga Alita definitely was using plasma in creative ways in the Berserker body, and she would probably annihilate the T1000.
Well, what I think though, I even think movie Alita would beat the T-1000 because, I mean, even though she maybe is not, she's kind of immature about using the plasma. I think just the fact that she can get it to come out, she can melt him, and plasma's not like that lava-like liquid metal. I mean, it is highly excited, superheated gas, that's
Yeah.
ionized. So, I mean,
It's a star.
yeah. That's right. That's exactly right.
she could probably destroy him with the Hertzian even. Just
Yeah,
But-
but movie Alita doesn't know that. You know what I mean?
well, yeah,
Not
but,
yet.
Manga Alita does. That's just my
But-
point.
yeah, but we were already comparing Imagino's bodies though, in with what we were talking about. So
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's if you're comparing Imagino's to like the super speed and stuff, I mean, you gotta kind of keep that in the same frame. That like if we're going like to manga Alita on a lot of these comparisons, you got to stick with that.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Movie Alita would have a hard time, but manga Alita would destroy.
Yeah, and she's eventually gonna get there within that same story arc. So I mean, either way, it's the same Alita. It's just at what point
Not really.
in her history are
There's a lot of differences. So
Well,
that's what I'm saying. We don't know where the movie's gonna go, but from what we've seen, movie Alita loses to the not loses. would have a hard time with. We don't know if because all it is just finding out his weakness. You know what I mean? Oh, heat or extreme heat or cold. You know what I mean? That's it. You just
Yeah.
can't cut
Yeah,
him in half.
but especially when it comes to the T1000, though, you're still looking at such technologically advanced stuff. Because when she's versed pretty much anyone else who's a cyborg, that's pretty much the same power and same technology that the T1000 would be as far as those type of metals is concerned. Whereas hers being in a berserker body, even in the movie, like even her body wouldn't be able to be destroyed by the T1000. Just simple,
Yeah, I
simply
think
because of the makeup of her and the nanotechnology, because she's self healing.
I like what John Hoots just said. You know, why can't she just make a fist and get that plasma to come out and Panzer Coots his ass?
Well, and her fighting style is designed specifically against cyborgs.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
Not only
she's
that, but
built
cyborgs that are huge.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that being said, I think even just her physical brute force with what she has is basically on the same level. It'd be basically just a fist fight. The whole reason why the T1000 was so crazy is that he was the only cyborg, you know. Whereas now when you have people that are basically just as powerful, if not more powerful than the T1000, it's like at that
Well,
point it's literally just a regular motor baller.
well, you know, the whole thing is too is that T1000, you remember, fought Arnold Schwarzenegger's T800, and the T800 was give. I mean, even though I think the T1000, you know, was more advanced and it was better, still the T800 gave that T1000 all it could handle. You know.
I
Uh,
want to ask this question. They're all owned by James Cameron. Who do you think James Cameron would make win?
oh, he would have Alita would win.
You think so?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Who made him more money though? The T1000 made the most out of all three of them.
Yeah, that I guess that's right. You know.
But money doesn't mean a damn thing when it comes to how good a character is.
No, I get that. I was just fucking around.
I don't know.
He's pulling my chains the way he's doing, Kunstler.
So, but anyways, I know you're asking about those speakers. I plan on wrapping those up here in the next within the next probably as soon as we basically are fully unpacked. My next few days off is I got to get like a really cheap lazy Susan so I can spin it while I do my
Yeah.
spray like primer and painting and stuff. But I have everything for it. I have everything
Nice.
for it. I was just waiting to get this garage, to get it. So Den, you'll like this, dude. This house came with a safe.
I
Yeah,
love that. Where
Yeah,
is
So-
it?
that is nice.
It's not a gun safe, but it was like a safe that like was designed to hold like hard drives and
That's still
electrical.
good because if you get a fire, you know what
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
It's got 6-inch thick walls. This thing brand new is like $7,200. It's like
Wow.
12. It's like 1,200 pounds.
How big is damn? Okay, I was about to ask, but there you go. Answers my question.
Yeah, it's like 1,200 pounds empty, but it actually only holds like 7 cubic feet of stuff because it's 6-inch thick walls and it's about the size of like a fridge you'd have in your garage.
Yeah, that's definitely you can put guns in it. I mean, shit, why not?
Oh yeah, yeah. Once I get some.
Go get some. What are you doing? Man? Guns are a good price right now. Ammo is what's fucked up.
No, I know. I'm waiting for my Void card to get renewed. I had that form sent like ages ago. I haven't gotten my new card.
Oh yeah, you're in like up north, aren't you? You're in like Illinois or something, right?
Yes, I'm in Illinois.
Yeah, damn, that sucks. Well, you can always move down here where it's not fucking snowing, and you can buy guns.
That was not snowing up there now, Ken.
No, yeah. It's like freaking.
Just
It was like
saying.
freaking 90 degrees something here.
Yeah, that I mean, yeah, it is about the same out here too right now. But you know, anytime you want, I'm inviting the Australians too. You know, I don't have a 3D TV, but you know, I got like fucking Busch Gardens and shit. You know.
Well,
I'm
you
like
know,
that.
Dan, I'm originally a Floridian, so I'm gonna have to come down there to Tampa to check you out, bub.
Oh yeah, definitely. Florida's great. I love it. It's a very underrated state. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
people talk. Like,
Yeah,
someone kill
I'm-
mosquitoes or something. Is that somebody like trying to smack mosquitoes down or something? What's that sound there?
Oh no, Probably something in the kitchen.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Cooking up some Asian food or some shit.
yeah, pineapple pizza.
Uh,
You know, I love pineapples.
Yum.
That's the thing. Like y'all think I don't like pineapples. Like I ate a pineapple smoothie. Like you know, on the days where you have a really hard workout, and
Yeah,
your
but
body just
pineapple
wants like
belongs on pizza.
electrolytes and sugar.
It's all there is
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
the whole thing. It's just that. That's the part where you lose me. You know what I mean? It's like some things should never just be together. That's it right there. No pineapples on pizza, man. But anyway, I don't know. Um, like I said, in my opinion, manga Alita stomps, but movie Alita, she would have some issues with the T1000. She'd just be like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know. I don't know, Dan. I think movie Alita would do a lot better than we think. You know, I mean, she actually whipped the shit out of those three cyborgs in the alley, and she had total loss of memory, and she was in her doll body. I mean, you know, I mean,
Yeah, but
I
those
think if she
are
was
not.
put under a lot of pressure like that, where you know she had like a little flashback where she saw, oh, this is how I can use my plasma. You know, I think that's what you would probably see.
Maybe, but that's like relying on luck. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yeah.
Because
I
I
mean,
mean,
I would say even in the movie, I think she would it be either evenly matched where they wouldn't be able to hurt each other, basically, because he like like does that self healing thing, but so does she. Like
Yeah.
when
yeah.
you know, I mean, obviously,
Well,
if
I
we're
mean,
talking doll body, she's
she
fragile
has
as heck. Anyway.
healing, but he doesn't really take damage.
I mean,
There's kind of
like
a difference there, you know.
except through like massive amounts of heat. So you
Heat or
know,
cold, yeah.
and well, no, I mean, even with cold, once it heats up, it starts like going back together. But yes, the plasma with her blade would be like the thing to use, but it is in the movie, so therefore you kind of have to like. But either way, even if she wouldn't be able to really destroy him, he wouldn't be able to destroy her.
I mean, it would be hard for him. You'd have to get heavy weapons. Honestly, he would.
Well, yeah,
Like
but
he
that
couldn't
like
just
they're
kill
not
her.
they're not available in her world at least.
So
And
Well,
then
he
here's
ends up
the
in a
here's the
fight.
thing though. If he gets heavy weapons, she ought to be allowed to use the Damascus blade. So
Oh no, she is allowed to use it. I didn't say she wasn't. My thing is that I just don't know if she knows how to use the plasma in a way that would kill him. She basically has to do a Kamehameha. You know what I mean? That's basically how she has to use the plasma in order to kill the T1000. Whereas in the manga, we see her doing stuff like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? We see her like create that plasma shield and all that shit to escape the explosion.
or
You know,
yeah,
you
that
see her,
giant plasma ball.
yeah. You know, you see her doing all kinds of stuff like that. But you know, in the movie, she hasn't learned that yet. She doesn't know that yet. So if we take her as she is at the end of the movie, just with that, and she can only do the things she's done in the movie, I think she has a hard time with it. And it's not saying that the T1000 doesn't have a hard time with her, because he has to destroy her brain. You know what I mean? He has to find a way to do that. Which, I mean, we've already seen that she's kind of naive, and she's naive like that in the movie and the manga. Whereas he's not really naive. He's a machine. Like he's got a machine brain. He's a computer. So he might be able to look at her and be like, okay, she's got a pretty hard head. It takes this much force to fuck it up. Let me just fly this helicopter into her. You know what I mean? I don't know.
if he has
I
a
don't know.
helicopter.
He does get a helicopter in Terminator 2. He says, "Get out."
Well,
There you go.
John Hoots has a great thought there. Hey, just punch him through the gut, activate the plasma, and he's done.
But like I said, who knows if she knows how to use it? I mean, it has to be enough. So like the little plasma finger thing she does, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be enough to destroy him. That would be enough to make him say, "Ow!" Like that hurt really bad. You know what I mean? But can she use enough plasma to destroy him at the point to the end of the movie? Is what I'm saying. And that, like I said, it's an if. It's a toss up kind of thing. We
Yeah,
know
I
for a
don't know.
fact manga leader can.
I still think movie Alita can take him, but you know,
Now, if in the sequel she knows how to, she gets more control over her plasma, then yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and then my thing do you have to go into? We have to take her in her mental states, or just like I don't usually see people compare people like, oh well, she doesn't know this yet in the universe because the sequel hasn't happened yet, but just based off the physical ability, physically she would be able to take him on. Now,
That's like saying
mentally
Kid
and
Goku
technique-wise-
can defeat Frieza or something like that because he's capable of doing the Kaioken, but he just doesn't know it yet. You know what I mean? No, it's Kid Goku can't do the Kaioken. He hasn't learned it yet. You know what I mean? So therefore, that's not a factor in determining whether or not Kid Goku can beat Vegeta. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair, but in the movie, she does know how to use the plasma blade.
But barely. You know, like I say, it's the same arguments that we use in the not we, because I'm not really in part of it, but I kind of like dabble in that shit. The power scaling people or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so Goku when he fought Vegeta could not even touch Frieza because he did to touch Frieza he needed to do Kaioken times 20, and he wasn't capable of doing that at that time. Yeah, he's capable of doing it in the future, you know what I mean? But it's just like, okay, yeah. There's scales to using your strength, but if we take her as she is at the end of the movie, you know what I mean? She's not capable of at least she hasn't shown us to be. I mean, if she was capable of using it to that extent, I think she would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to the same point, because of the nature of her memory loss, if she was in a fight, she would likely have a flashback to those techniques that she has used in the past.
But that's relying on luck. That's why I say it's a toss.
It's not relying on luck. It's a common theme throughout even the movie and the manga that if she's in a life situation, her memory recalls those things.
Not every time though. That's why I say it's relying on luck. So I mean, it could happen. Like I said, it's a toss-up. It's not a guarantee that she's gonna lose. It's also not a guarantee T1000 is gonna win. You know what I mean? Because like I said, he has a big hill to climb too. He's got to destroy her head.
Well, and the one thing I think is in the movie, you never see him go beyond like normal human speeds. Like, yeah, he'll have a crazy run and he'll run fast, but not as fast as Alita could run.
Well, he was chasing that car though at one point. Of course, he didn't catch it, but he kind of held his own on the speed of that car before they. You know, but I think she can run a lot faster in that car, though. So
well, yeah, even if we're going to like what they did with like the slow mo, and we're going original canon, she could still technically go close to the speed of sound, even with the berserker body. So I mean, like what, almost like 800, like. No, what was it, like 600 or like almost 700 miles an hour?
So to me, it'll be like, it'll be like, and I hate to bring it back up again, but I don't really have that much frame of reference for fictional properties. But like when Super Saiyan 3 Goku fought Majin Buu, right? He was capable. He was stronger than Majin Buu. He was stronger than Fat Buu. Well, let's just even take Kid Buu, right? He was stronger than, or at least even with Fat Buu, depending on which Dragon Ball fan you ask. But Buu was capable of regenerating infinitely, and it was very hard to hurt because he's just he's bubblegum, he's goo. And that's what the T1000 is, you know what I mean? He's bubblegum, he's goo. It's how do you hurt water? You know what I mean? So yeah, she's faster. That's why I'm saying it's a hard hill for her to climb. It's like it was a hard hill for Goku to fight Kid Buu. Yeah, for the first 10 minutes, Goku was having fun and thought the shit was great. And then after a while, he's like, okay, I'm getting tired now. Because this guy just keeps bubblegum. He keeps coming back. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what happened with the T800, with Arnie in the movie. It's kind of like, okay, at first this wasn't so bad, but, now this is getting kind of frustrating,
How's it going, Splash Bang?
I'm doing good. Sorry, I am so very late. I got off work late, so I got home late. Before that, I actually had to get gas, and then I got home late after that.
Well, you missed all the fun with the races. I mean, I think
racism. Come on, man. Why we gotta do that? I'm the only black guy. God, always do this to me, Creek. I knew you were from Florida. That's how.
Well, we aggravated Maxie a lot by the non-scientific stuff we put up here for the race, but other than that, we did good.
No, mate, you didn't aggravate me. I was just pointing out things that were just totally going to sink what you were saying.
It's not going to happen.
Max aggravated us. No, that's not realistic. No, not that either.
I just love shooting holes in things like railgunners.
Yeah.
Well, when you come to Florida, we'll allow you to do that, just not with my personal stuff,
I need to borrow your Alita pistol.
I haven't gotten it yet because.
Well, hurry up, Mister! I can get guns whenever I want.
I bought a different gun, but for a very specific reason because I would not be able to buy it in the future. But they were the same price. Well, actually, no, this one's 3 times more expensive than the Alita one. But it's just like it's going out of style, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, got to get that one first. But we are getting the Alita one next, and we are getting engraving done on it. Absolutely.
Nice.
99.
99.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What Alita gun?
The 10
pistol.
millimeter Smith and Wesson.
Oh, nice. You're getting nice.
Yes, I saw one in the store.
I that's the one. Like, if I am gonna get a handgun, it's gonna be the Smith and Wesson, the 10 millimeter.
And that's how you know Kishiro is a gun guy. You know what I mean? Because that's such an esoteric gun to put in your manga. You know what I mean? Like that's not like a 357 or something like that. It's like a very specific thing that he was looking at. You know, he wanted that one, and I don't know. I think it's cool. And what I think is also cooler, I put this on Twitter a couple of years back, is that that gun was discontinued in like 2005 from Smith & Wesson, but it was recontinued in 2019, which coincides with when the movie came out. That gun wouldn't.
Man, isn't that a 40 caliber? Will it fire?
It's a 10
40?
millimeter.
Yeah, a 10
Same
millimeter
size bullet, but
yeah, it's
different
the same
casing.
size. It'll fire a 40 caliber round. Won't it?
Yeah, it will. Yeah, most likely. But yeah, so the gun was discontinued by Smith & Wesson in 2005 and recontinued in 2019, which coincides with the release date of the movie. Why would they wait till that time? And that is a gun that would only pop up in the sequel. I think that's evidence of an Alita sequel. Bam. I've linked it together on my big wall map with all of my little pins and needles and shit.
And your red wool linking the pins.
The red wool linking them all.
Nice.
So which one did you get?
I don't like saying which guns I got.
He got he got the 2350 version of the Martian pulse rifle.
Yes, I did. And I don't even know how to shoot it yet because there's no ammo for it yet in my time. But if the flash moves fast enough,
Can you
maybe if I go to Australia, which is in the
style it
future, it's a rifle.
Hey, do you guys realize that if you come visit us, you're flying to the future?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
that's right.
I'm traveling faster than the speed of light,
Yeah.
or moving backwards around the Earth like Superman. You know?
But then you have to go back in time, back to your own home.
No, I don't do that. I'm gonna have to just stay in Australia.
Question is,
Those
could he
accents.
survive, Angelus? Do you reckon that Den could survive in Australia?
Nah.
Dude, I live
I
in
don't-
Florida.
I
I
don't know,
had
man.
an alligator in my backyard the other day. Like I have.
I don't know.
Alligators aren't the only things that'll try to kill you, though.
Yeah,
But,
those goddamn big ass spiders they have in Australia. That's
We got them too.
yeah, we do.
got 'em. We have the same exact spider, the orb weavers, and what else? There's a couple of, not all of the exact ones. We got some pretty ugly motherfuckers out here, man. That's why I keep inviting the Aussies over here because they're just not going to notice
That
the
orb
difference.
weaver, I almost ran
Just
into
gonna
one of them
fit
damn
right in.
things one time.
Yeah, me too. I was drunk taking a piss in the woods at night because there's a bunch of people out there. And then once I realized where I was standing, I ran back to where everyone else was, flailing and ripping off my shirt because I didn't know if it was on me or not. You know what
I remember when I lived in Florida, I was cutting the grass and I wasn't paying attention. I looked up and there was that damn spider. I was like 1 foot in my face.
Yeah. And you know, they're
Holy
even
Christ.
worse in Texas too. They're worse. There's more of them in Texas. It's fucking crazy.
Are your orb weavers really pointy? Like the ends of their legs end in like
Yeah.
talons and shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Like
look
some
terrifying.
spiders have curved ends to their legs and they look just sort
No.
of like fuzzy. But these things are like fucking.
No, they're not fuzzy.
How describe them is apparently they're not really that aggressive. But
Why
they
did I have
look-
to come in at this part of the
angry.
conversation?
Well, you're in Georgia, so you know there's plenty of those
Yeah.
motherfuckers out there too.
Yeah, but like you don't actually have a phobia of spiders. I do. So I mean, there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't like spiders either. I don't mind them
You should watch
outside.
that Brave Wilderness video. Y'all know who Brave Wilderness is? The guy gets stung by
Yeah.
all the bees and shit.
Yeah,
He did one where he put 20 golden orb weavers on his head and like like Fear Factor style in a glass box. It looks horrible.
Yeah, I would not be doing that.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find the picture. It looks so bad. Like I wouldn't say I have arachnophobia, but that shit bothered me. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I can't turn away though. Hold on, I'm gonna send this to Creek and see if he can put it up on this screen.
Well,
It's just a picture.
You can just open it up in a viewer and then share.
I got it right here. I got it.
I could, but you might see my porn on accident.
Stop share there.
The midget porn, hey?
The midget porn, yes, the anime midget porn with clown makeup on.
There, that
you're
little,
going all out, aren't you?
there's that little shit.
No, that's not the picture I sent you.
Oh,
Look on
okay.
your
Let me go
Twitter
look.
DMs.
Let me go look at it then. Let me go get it.
Don't be showing spiders. Splashbang will leave.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Oh shit! I'm on the wrong damn. Let me do this. I don't have the wrong thing here.
One of these days, I should go back through my massive photo reel and try and find the photos of the funnel web spider that we found.
Yeah, no.
That fucker was glossy black, and you know, like when you see a glossy black car in an '80s movie, you know it's the bad guys.
Yeah. I know.
It's like that, but a spider.
That's what I say about the orb weavers. They just look angry. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Oh
really
that spider. That son of a bitch. Oh, what
show
they
it.
do
Show it
here?
on screen.
Yeah, just a second. Let me get over here to the.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna run and check on my chicken wings. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Let's see. Share. See if I can find the damn thing. Damn it! I can't find it. He sent it. I'm in. Let's see. Well, what I'll do is just share the entire screen. That's what I'll do.
Hope we don't see your porn.
Okay. No, you won't see my porn.
Yeah, that guy's really weird because there was
Yeah,
no
he is.
reason to do this. But you see what I mean? How they just look angry. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's their legs.
Yeah,
Flashbang,
it
are
really
you
is their
still
legs.
here? Are you alive, or have you fainted?
And they're not an aggressive spider, though.
They're not, but they look like it. I think that's part
Yeah.
of like an evolutionary thing, maybe. But they just look.
Yeah, huge
angry.
defensive mechanism for themselves. They look.
Yeah.
And they're like really chill. Like I go to a place, this national park out here all the time to go to these springs, and in every tree there's a bunch of those, and you can walk right under their webs, and they don't care, you know. But they just look so pissed off. I don't know. I'm not a fan of them. My buddy had one of those in his apartment once, and I slept in the fucking car. So
Yeah, my nephew had one of my nephews had a tarantula for a pet.
but why? That doesn't make any sense.
He
Like, what
did.
does it do?
You know.
Can you play fetch with it? Like, why'd you get that?
To freak people out. That's why you do it.
Damn it! I can't get mine.
I mean, I can even understand a snake, you know? I mean, snakes are kind of cool, but a tarantula, you know what I mean? What's it going to do, bark at the bad guy or something?
Pick up my shit, Creaky.
Is that your picture?
No, that's not my picture.
Is
And
that
I think
an
the guy's.
orb
I think the guy's hand is a little ways away from it, but
Doesn't matter.
its leg span is like, halfway up his arm.
Yeah. No, that's how they are. They're fucking huge.
What
How about-
spider is that, Ray?
That's an Australian golden orb weaver.
Ah,
Yeah, they're fucking
I haven't
feel
seen.
like
I haven't
if-
seen one that big, but close.
That's what she did.
Yeah,
Lord.
pretty much.
That's the type of spider where I feel like if you were to like snap its leg, it would sound like a chicken bone cracking. Like
Yeah, dude. There was one at my wife's mom's house, right? And it wasn't orb weaver. I forgot which one this, but this is a hairy kind of one. You know what I mean? It was standing right above the kitchen door, and I got my wife not because I was scared. Okay, I got her because I thought she wouldn't believe me. So I had to get people to come and see it. So I got my wife's mom. I got my wife. I was like, look at this fucking thing. Look, it's just hanging out there. And then my wife's mom goes and grabs a broom. She's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. If they fall, they die immediately because of their exoskeleton." So she just knocked it off with the broom. It fell, it hit the floor, and you heard it. Boom. Hit the ground. Then she scooped it up into the dustpan and threw it in the front yard, and you heard it like a fucking wiffle ball hitting the ground. Boom. Shit, I was like, what the fuck? This thing got weight. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I would have shot it. To be honest.
With a shotgun, then.
It's my house. I can do it.
There's a type of moth that is only rarely seen in Australia called a rain moth, and everybody here's used like a standard pencil. You know how long a standard pencil is? Like a 2B pencil. Yeah. Yep. We had one like several years ago. There was that they come after heavy rains in a particular time of the year, sort of like late spring, early summer, and we had one on our balcony. We brought inside. It was as long, like its body and its head was as long as a 2B pencil.
Jesus,
that's crazy.
It was massive. You look at the thing and go, "This is huge."
That's like a freaking bird, man.
Yeah. It was big as small birds. Yeah, it had bigger wingspan than some of the robins and these little annoying birds we
you
have.
have robins?
Y'all have magpies there?
Y'all have
that like fucking try to kill you?
Oh, this morning we had a flock of they're related to magpies, but they're not the same. They're called currawongs. And they're bigger birds than they're sort of like.
Oh, that's great! Yeah, it's just bigger than. The thing
they're much friendlier. So the magpies are sort of the smallest of the three, and then there's Australian crows, which are big, glossy black ones that make the baby crying noises, and then you have the currawongs, and they have this really nice sort of echoey call. And we had a flock of them come through. They come down from the mountains when it gets cold up there. They come down towards the ocean, and they just rocked up. So it's really nice.
I just got stuck in a compilation of watching videos of people get attacked by magpies. And they're actually pretty fucking funny.
I've been attacked by magpies, but
really,
generally, if you wave something above your head, they kind of scare them off.
They just don't give a shit, though. You know what I mean? I think it's fucking great. I'm glad we don't have those here in America.
People freak out, but they get weeded out of the population because the ones that attack tend to get removed by wildlife services. So it basically pushes the population towards more non-confrontational gene pool.
Oh, okay. I guess that's a good thing. Maybe.
But every now and again you get a mutant, which is just like fucking, I'll kick your ass. I'll kick all of your asses. Humanity's on notice. This magpie's got it in for you.
It's the Australian bird. That's how I imagine Australian people would be anyway. You know, be like that drunk. They're like of the world, that drunk guy that wants to kick everyone's ass.
We have magpies.
That's
here.
not a noise.
We got. Yeah, what's that noise here? Who's
That's road noises from Jeffrey, I'd say.
Anyway,
away from home, huh?
Anyway, we got magpies in Colorado, so. But you guys have robins?
I think some places in Australia have a bird that's called a robin, but it might be exactly the same as your one.
You know, it's funny. You remind me of a story.
We have bats.
I had a cousin. I had a cousin in England. You know that. You know, she was saying, you know, Gary. Here's the way she said it. Gary, come and see me, little Robin Fred. You know, so I went back to the back window where kitchen was, and there was this little English robin out there. You know, I said, "Oh, that's one of your little English robins." And she said, "Oh, yours got bloody stars and stripes then." So
yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
What do you mean? And a gun. So I want to ask: are there any more power scale matchups we can do? Because I find those fun. I like that shit.
Well, we'll have to do a stream on that, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think that shit is great, man. I like comparing things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always liked that shit.
Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to bring the stream to a close here. We'll still stay on afterwards. Did we miss anybody? You know, in terms of
you missed me for the whole stream.
Yeah, well, we did. Yeah, we did. Splash bang, we did. Max,
whose fault's that?
There's those damn birds. Yeah.
So these are currawongs. That's one in flight. That's a pied currawong.
Yeah.
But this is the comparison I just wanted to quickly show you. So
Yeah.
that's the magpie. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
pointing at the wrong one. So that's the magpie there, and that's the Karawong. So it's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Dude, check your fucking messages. Well, I guess it's because it's 99. You like that, huh?
Yeah, it looks like a crow to me, almost.
So I think that one
there's
there's the Australian crow. So it's smaller.
Yeah, the beak is a little different than our crow too. It's yeah, but you know, crows and magpies and those kind of birds are pretty damn smart, you know.
Oh yeah, these birds are quite smart. They're always sort of looking at you and tilting their heads and trying to work out what you're doing.
Well, I've seen that. I've heard they've done research that that crows, as an example, could recognize different humans. So,
yeah. And the way they move is very jerky, sort of like you can see where they got the movements for dinosaurs from, because birds are what dinosaurs ended up being after they got hit by a giant space rock.
Yep.
Which is really disappointing to think that dinosaurs had feathers. I don't know why, because I always wanted Jurassic Park to be the depiction of it. But
well, the raptors probably had feathers.
Yeah, I've heard some people go back. I've heard them actually go back and forth on whether or not T-Rexes had feathers.
Nah, I have
well,
you
see, you can't take any animal as this is what it was like the whole time it was alive. Things keep evolving. So if the weather got really cold, they probably the ones that had the feathers became dominant because they were warmer. Because the question is whether dinosaurs were warm-blooded or cold-blooded. Could they keep themselves warm, or did they need something like feathers to survive? And it's all about survival. Like if you've got the genetic traits that mean you're going to survive, then you survive and the other guy dies. So
it also makes sense. I mean, how many types of T-Rexes were there? I mean, you've got flightless birds and flying birds.
Well, it's the same thing with humans. Like, when did we become humans? When were we considered human? There's a whole, but we could do a whole stream on where.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Wherever that line is, there is somebody on the internet, on Twitter specifically, that would fuck it. Wherever that line is, wherever we became humans, there's someone that would still fuck it.
John Hoots, man, he said, what on earth is this stream anymore?
Well, knowing what I know about the amount of Neanderthal DNA in some humans on Earth, there was a fair bit of that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like big brows, and I cannot lie.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anyway, I want to bring the stream to a close, but we can stick out afterwards. Did we miss anybody? I mean, I only know of one speedster in the MCU. There may be others. I don't know, because I don't really read comic books, but but there's a whole bunch of them, in the DCEU that we didn't compare Alita to. Because we didn't want to irritate Ray any more than we have.
Oh man!
I mean, is Wonder Woman super fast?
Who?
Like I don't know.
Oh,
I don't really
Wonder
know
Woman's
powers, but it just seems like she just has like girl version of Superman's powers.
Yeah, she's not. I don't think she's quite as. I don't think she moves at relativistic speed.
She just has advanced movement. That's it.
She is very fast though, because she's able to block those bullets at that terrorist shot, at those people. She blocked every single one of them. Now that doesn't require relativistic speed to do that, but it requires pretty damn fast speed and reflexes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Wolverine, John Hoot says, what about Wolverine? Well, Wolverine, he's a pretty badass fighter, that's for sure, and he heals real fast. He's got an adamantium skeleton or whatever, but I don't think he moves at really fast speed, not compared to, say, the Flash or Superman or somebody like that.
So originally, and it's funny John brought that up, and I'll just throw this in as my 2 cents.
Okay.
Originally, Wolverine was drawn so that he would run on all fours, kind of like more animalistic a little bit.
Yeah.
That was the concept behind the character, and he did run fast, but it wasn't like Flash or Shazam or Zoom or any of these people. And what I was going to say was there's only one other speedster that I'm aware of, but he is an indie character that was created by an artist who worked on the Flash called Parsec. And he is a fast character, but I don't know what he taps out at, so it's not really a good idea to put him on this list.
Okay. I know Zoom is supposed to be pretty fast. I've even there in some parts of that universe. I don't really watch the CW's version or anything, but there's in a good bit of that show that Zoom is actually faster than the Flash. But I think the Flash ended up getting to be faster than him. I think, but I don't know. So because well, for me, one thing I have problem with speedsters is not the speedster themselves; it's the riders. They don't know how to write for somebody that a lot of them don't that moves really fast like that. Like for instance, what few shows I have seen, of the Flash, he's got all this speed, but he'll stop and say, "I'm going to kick your ass and I'm going to put you in jail." And while he's saying it, the guy punches him. I mean, no. If you're a speedster, you don't need to talk to the guy.
At that point, it doesn't matter how fast you are; you still got your ass whooped.
That's right. Exactly.
You talk to the guy after you've got him in handcuffs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. This is something that it was a story for the Flash that never happened. It was going to happen, but then it didn't end up happening. So two of the biggest Flash projects that happened were designed by Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. So the first one was Flash. The first big one was Flash Rebirth. That was like the first big, huge one that they did. That became that thing's like reprinted every year. It like just sells. It's just a good seller. And there, I know that he helped plan out. Ethan Van Sciver didn't draw Flashpoint, but I know he helped plan that out from what I've heard. But originally, I think he was going to team up with Johns again, and they were going to do a story. It was like a one shot. And from what I understand, the whole concept of the book was really cool. Actually, it was literally the Flash is having a conversation with someone, and he's literally talking to the guy, but it's showing across like basically all of the all around the world, all these different things that he's doing while he's talking to the guy. He's moving so fast, he can keep in a conversation with someone and still run around and save people around the world. And I always thought that was a really cool idea that never happened. And I wish that would have existed as a comic book because I think the art for that would have been insane.
Yeah. Well, the Flash, in terms of a fictitious character, I mean, he is the fastest character of all of them. I mean,
you know what I think would happen? I think that Imaginos Alita would find a way to hack into this fucking Speed Force and beat Flash at his own game.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I know Leo's just doing that to bug me, so I'm going to ignore it.
No, honestly, though, I think Imaginos Alita is such a broken character. You know what I mean?
But see, I'm not simping for Flash. Like, you're simping for Imaginos right now because you really like that thing. Like, you're not using hard-boiled facts. The Speed Force only exists.
How would we use hard-boiled facts in a fictional world?
I'm talking about facts that exist within the canonical universe of the DC universe. The Speed Force, I mean, I think that there's only two beings that I'm aware of that in current canon have the ability to access the Speed Force, and it's from like a random, almost supernatural act that they're able to do it. It's not like a digital circuit thing you can just kind of hack into.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's more like dark energy, isn't it, Splashbang?
More or less.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's what it is. I think it's dark energy. And he knows how to use it, the Flash does. That which is the difference between him and Quicksilver. Quicksilver doesn't tap into any force like that. He's fast. That's all there is. And he's really, really fast. But the Flash does tap into that speed force or dark energy or whatever you want to call it, and that's what gives him his speed. And it's like a thing about him too, is that if he doesn't have access to the speed force, that doesn't mean he can't run fast. It's like he's like a battery, I mean, he has speed force in him, but then if he uses it and he doesn't tap into the speed force, then he kind of runs out of juice, because I don't know if you remember in the 90s, that they had a crossover between DC and Marvel, and it was the Flash and when the DC characters and the heroes and the Marvel characters started, when they came into contact with each other, they thought the other guys were bad or whatever it was. They were like enemies. They thought they were enemies. And the Flash and Quicksilver actually, I think one of them was had an artifact or something like that, and the Flash had it, and Quicksilver couldn't get it. But then they were in Quicksilver's universe, and there was no Speed Force over there, so eventually the Flash ran out of energy, from his Speed Force he had stored up, and Quicksilver stole it from him, and then hit him and knocked him down or whatever he did, So I think that was the whole thing about the two differences in the two universes too, that the Speed Force existed in one universe and not in the other. So anyway.
I might have to get me some dark matter.
Yeah, dark matter, dark energy, so
I could use some more energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else did we miss? I mean, a couple of folks mentioned Captain America. Of course, he can't run anywhere near relativistic speed. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he can run as fast as Alita can in her berserker body. So, but he's fast. I mean, for a human, he's a extremely enhanced human, but he can't run 100 miles an hour. So, and she can. So, that's one of those type things. So.
No, I can't really think of anyone.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I guess I'm going to wrap this up then. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm always going to get 4 hearts for our girl here. To Rosa. Yep, she is number 1 in my book in terms of being Alita and being a really great actress and that kind of stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she definitely has the power of Uwu. That's for sure. That's why I always give her 4 hearts. Always, So, boy, it'd be neat if we could get her on the Radio Chaos.
But creaky, why is it there?
Yeah. So tomorrow, by the way, I want to ask Dan, you and Splash Bang. I want to send you guys an invite to the Radio Chaos stream, and would like to have you guys on too.
What time does it start again?
It starts at 3:00 Mountain, which would be 5:00 Eastern.
I will be at work.
Ah, Dan, what about
Saturday?
you?
Yeah, I do that. That's my shift.
What about you, Dan? Can I send you an invite?
Is he there?
He does. I don't know. He's not muted. Well, I'll send him one anyway.
I think I broke his heart.
Don't go breaking Alita's heart because it'll explode and take out half the planet.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Maxie, you want to
micro reactors?
You want to tell us a little bit about tomorrow?
So tomorrow's stream. Now, there's a little bit of confusion because there's a little bit of disagreement about how much of the original series manga we should be looking at. Tony only wants to look at chapter 1, which is, not that many panels.
Yeah.
So he wants to look at Rusty Angel, which is like pages 3 to 31 of the original Viz comic. I don't know if that's going to be enough to talk about because we can look at it page by page and talk about what's going on and stuff. But I think we'd get through that very quickly, and it doesn't really. I think it's got Alita's first fight in it, and that's it against a woman that looks a bit like a
vampire. Yeah. I actually put together a quick little presentation so we can use it as a reference. But you're right. I didn't put
characters that got placed by Nisiana.
I mean, even if we go by the original volumes, even in the original series, we're going to have like 12 episodes or 12 live streams just for the original series, and then there's 19 in the Last Order. So I mean, this will take a long time if we go chapter by chapter. I mean, there's 73 chapters in the original series. So, it's a lot of live streams. So I'm thinking we should really do volume 1 because That's the whole development arc. Her first major arc.
You don't think he thought he put chapter 1 thinking volume 1, do you?
No, because I discussed it with him and he was like, no, we should just do chapter 1, then it'll last for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, for bloody long time. But then I would think that the stream would probably end up being fairly short. And the problem there is if you go for such a small snippet, you're going to bleed out into the surrounding material anyway. You can't really avoid it. But I mean, the original OVA, like the first part of the two parts that they made, was called Rusty Angel. Yeah. So
I'm back.
back. Dan, right. What you doing tomorrow night? 5 p.m. Eastern.
David's asleep.
Dan.
Oh, I thought you said David. Oh, me.
No, I said Dan.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll
it's
try
to be on the accent. Yeah, well, we're talking manga. We're talking the very start of the original series.
Right, so I'm gonna send you an invite then.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing because like I said, I've been taking it easy this week, so I've had more time. So yeah, I'll definitely try to get on.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Are we still live? Because I had to run away.
Yeah, we're still live. Okay. So anyway, you know what you could do, Maxie, is you could do like we do on this stream. We start out on a topic and devolve into a whole bunch of others.
You haven't noticed us doing that? Oh, we meander like a good walk in the park.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's what live streams are like. I mean, you go off on tangents, and you might come back if you can be asked, but.
And that's what makes live streams different from just making a video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, videos have to be so tight.
Yeah, that's
right. A podcast is like, okay, we're going to talk about this for 1 hour exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a stream.
Yeah, we don't do that here. We're Radio Chaos Cubes. That's what we are.
But it means you can get into some good, I wouldn't call them arguments, but heated debates about things and really tease some information out of something.
Yeah, like when Star came on here and had a nerve to trash the manga. Can't believe that man. I can't believe him. I can't even be friends with him no more.
But he's the one who suggested we do the manga in the other live stream.
I know, I'm kidding.
Maybe that's because he wants to trash it.
He probably wants to trash it again.
I like Just a Fan. We just did more than 2 hours talking BS about running faster than the speed of light. Yeah, we'll do okay, I think.
Here's a little add-on to that exact comment that Just a Fan said. This is not the first time we've had this conversation, especially in streams where I have been on a stream with Leo. This is the third time in a live stream we've had a conversation. And both times that conversation went almost an hour. And so now we've got one that's run over 2 hours. So that's a combined 4 hours of talking about running faster than the speed of light.
Yeah. Well, Flashbang, we actually put some visual on that showing them going around the Earth. And so although it was pretty simple, but yeah, we got Ray real good going on that one.
I just like to see them try. As soon as they hit a certain velocity, the Earth would lose grip on them and just boom.
Yeah, they're just going out of space. Yeah, exactly.
But then they'd leave an Earth burning with the atmosphere on fire. So
Yeah, that's right.
Well, one of the things that I always thought was cool, and some comics they explain it, in other ones they're like, I don't want to take the time to ruin my dialogue pacing by throwing this in there, so I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to hope you remember from the last time someone wrote about this. But a lot of times writers will make notes within the comic, not like notes, but they'll have exposition that makes you understand. The Flash, kind of when we see him running at certain speeds that are like beyond even human, like, where we couldn't even see like something. It's just so fast we couldn't see it. Yeah. When he's going that speed, they draw it so we can see him, but it's almost like he's not there, if that makes sense. Like he's almost phased into a dimension that's existing simultaneously on Earth. So he's not actually touching Earth. It's like he's kind of like phasing through it almost like a ghost, but he's just like moving. So they don't always say that, but I don't know if they've ever done that for like Quicksilver or the other characters.
I
But
don't think so.
they have said that before or mentioned it and alluded to it in times about the Flash, where he kind of just, and you even saw a little bit of it in the movie. They actually did a little bit of it in the movie with Zack Snyder, where he like throws his hand out there and you see him like shake and he looks clear for transparent for just a second. That's him phasing, you know.
Yeah, that's right. And I like that thing at the end too when it showed him running. It was like slow motion, and every time he stepped on the ground, electricity went out. I mean that, but you could still see him. But obviously, if he's going faster than the speed of light, you can't see it. So
He
so I
still
thought
runs
that
weird though.
I thought that shit was pretty dope. So
I'm not gonna lie, the Snyder Cut was better, but he still runs weird.
Apparently,
Yeah,
Ezra
he
Miller said that he wanted Flash's running to be inspired by some kind of the way these monks do some kind of training out in the Far East. So that's why him and Snyder designed the run that way. He wanted it to feel like a rhythmic dance rather than just a kind of sprint.
well, the
Artist going
CW
artist.
the CW Flash doesn't run like that, or at least
I know. I saw a video comparing the two. Actually, I thought it was
Yeah.
actually pretty interesting.
The CW one is a little cheesy for me because it looks like he's on I know the Flash has the cosmic treadmill, but he literally looks when he's running like he's on a treadmill every time.
Yeah.
He probably is a
On
green screen.
a treadmill in front of a green screen. Yeah, that's what I felt like.
So anyway, everybody, I guess we're gonna have a who knows, a wide open discussion on the manga tomorrow. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Sounds
And
good.
your Muskogee Creek is once again gonna be managing the stream because I'm not gonna be in town 2 out of the next 3 weeks. So I gave Tony another break. So
Sounds good to me. I'll be there.
cool. I'll send you an invite as soon as we get off the stream here. So okay, guys, any last thoughts? Well, let's do the
Goku
call to
stopped
action.
Superman.
I'm sorry?
That's it. No, that's it. Nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to do a new call. We're going to do our new call to action, which is make those sequels, baby. That's what we're going to do. So on my count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Make
Make
those
those
sequels,
sequels,
baby.
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 All right, we'll catch you guys later.